Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
I love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
I need to talk a little sports with you, Ags. David Nuño here with TexAgs Radio. Billy Liucci here on TexAgs Radio. Olin Buchanan.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
The best way for us to win is to do it together.
Been in college baseball for a while now, but I've never experienced anything like 12th man.
The other schools are like, we're freaking Texas A&M, man. Like,
this one's special. The 12th man this past week was unbelievable.
The epitome of what this team has done, right? Gavin homers, Jace homers, Braden homers, Chris Cortez, 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Folks at Ryan Broadcasting, can we hear Right Here, Right Now, whatever the name of that song is? I think it's Right Here. Jesus Jones, right here, right now, because I am right now Nuño, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Olin Buchanan with his Monster Energy drink. Good mood. Did not sleep much.
No.
You've got a little Cosmo Kramer going on right now. You're just kind of ready to go.
well, you know, first of all, Jason Howell and I went to walk-ons last night to watch the game.
Yeah.
So that's, to be there for 3 hours, and we had dinner, and that's about 3 or 4 glasses of tea. And then the game's over, so I got to go home. Well, I got to keep watching all the post-game stuff,
of course.
Plus, I've got all this caffeine in me hyped up, to make me even more hyped up. And then, of course, I have all that liquid in me that's going to have to, so I've got to leave. So I got maybe 3 hours sleep.
But you seem like
I don't need any sleep today. You know why? Because Aggie's going to be playing for the national championship. They're in the final.
2 wins away.
2.
Buddy, I'm in a good mood.
I'm in a hell of a good mood.
So, I don't even know. I think I want to start.
You should have had a Monster today.
I don't do that. That's
well, but today you should.
Those are chemicals that'll kill you. Sorry, Monster.
Just like that.
I take it
A&M
back.
pitching staff.
I just don't like energy drinks. I like coffee though. Hey, so I'm going to start things off with talking to you and to somebody that texts me all the time. Enjoy the journey. I was telling you, I have a close friend who was texting me before the game. Well, I'm doing these dramatic pauses, not on purpose. It just happens sometimes. All right. And this is right after Florida wins. And he's like, dude, why are we pitching Justin Lampkin? I don't like the idea. Like, they just saw him. Florida just scored 15 runs on Kentucky. It's over. We're going to have to play another game. Then our bullpen's going to be tired. And then if we even win that next game, this is before.
Yeah.
Okay? And then during the game, why they take out Justin Lampkin? Why? And I'm like, well, and Chris Cortez is not good, and this guy's feeling good about himself, right? Like, see what I mean? All right, well, first off, buddy, I love you and all, but Chris Cortez is fantastic. He didn't have it last night. He's fantastic. And, oh, by the way, Josh Stewart was freaking fantastic.
The cojones on that kid. They're in the 6th inning after Cortez. Got 2 on, no outs, and you're trying to protect that lead that seems precarious against that powerful, explosive Florida batting lineup that couldn't get anything done. And to get to strike what was it? He got one guy to ground out to first, and then the next 2 guys with 2 runners in scoring position struck him out. Dude, man, you talk about
that's the turning point.
I was saying he needs to right there. He should have gotten an NIL deal with Dr. Squatch.
So, but this is a lesson for football fans.
He has big cojones. They need to be comfortable.
I don't know if we can say that.
Cojones?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure you can say it.
You can.
Yeah,
you're part of the community.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm married into it.
This is true. So here's my thing. Enjoy the journey.
I'm enjoying it.
Like this is the most special season of the big 3 sports that since we've been together for sure, but that in my Aggie lifetime. Okay.
It reminds me, even though it could be more successful
than Johnny,
that 2012 football season. It's that same kind of feel.
If you only can enjoy after the championship, you are missing out on this amazing experience of getting to really know these players, like the personalities, what makes this team go, the roller coaster ride. Like, enjoy the journey. Don't think only doom, right? I understand it when you're 8-4, 5-7, 7-5, but like since Jim Schlossnagle's been here, everything has been great. Even last season, which ended in Stanford in the regional, was a fun season. I feel like I'm talking weird.
No, you're just speaking truth.
I'm just passionate, ladies and gentlemen. So enjoy it. Like this is amazing what we're witnessing. They're 2 wins away. It's going to be a very tall order. We know that, right? But how many teams are left, Obi?
There's 2.
That means we're one of the top 2 teams in the world.
One of the top 2.
Okay,
we are.
All right, so let's enjoy it.
Let's be number 1.
And let's enjoy some of the storylines that have emerged. And I know your favorite storyline. No, you got many. I'm assuming. I think your favorite storyline, Caden Kent.
The Caden Kent emergence. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I'm certainly was sold on him. And, he's been, when you lose a guy like Braden and then you replace him with Caden, and Caden is doing what Braden did, just further down the lineup. But I think he's hitting 500 since he's moved into the.
Yeah, he's like 7 of 14.
And he's got a bunch of RBI. He's just playing great baseball, and he's playing really well in the field. By the way, before we go any further, let me just throw this out.
Throw it.
The defense last night was spectacular, and Ali Camarillo in particular.
I want you to say it with a Latin flair.
But Ali Camarillo. Ali Camarillo. I want to say it even sexy, like Ali Camarillo.
Like a 976 hotline pickup.
Is that what it is? I'm just trying, Ali Camarillo, because, man, the way he was playing shortstop last night, it was sexy.
And you know what? I love his confidence. Like like you look at him, he knows he's going to make the play. When he hit that triple, like that's how I would celebrate.
And by the way, how good is Florida's outfield? Because if Florida's outfield wasn't that as good as it was, A&M scores 10 runs last night.
Yeah. By the way, I think.
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No. This is conversation. It's not an interview. So I think if you ever have another child, or I have another child, we need to have Aiden at the end of their name.
Aiden,
Braden, Caden, Hayden. Like, let's have an Aiden.
You could have had a lineup. You could have put Braden, Hayden, and Caden all one right after another.
Yes, you could.
And there's probably an Aiden out there.
And you could have a Caden pitch.
Sure.
Why not?
Wilson, yeah.
Let's do it. So,
in fact, I think there's going to be a lot in 2025 in College Station. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of boys named Braden, Aiden, Caden, or Hayden.
If you have quadruplets,
boom,
done. Like, I already did it for you. I'm sure there's an Aggie somewhere listening right now that's having quadruplets, and like he's going to have to tell his wife, sweetie, or she's going to have to tell him,
or at least triplets.
Okay, we can go with that.
Yeah, at least.
You can have multiple Cadens. So if you have 5, we'll come up.
George Foreman named all of his kids George Foreman.
So here's my other message, because today it's all about PSAs in this first segment. Don't question the Schloss. Don't question that coaching staff, all right? Like I understand there's
the Schloss or the Wiener. Don't question them.
Or early.
Or early.
Got to wake up early.
They're outstanding coaches, outstanding pitching. Where's that come from?
I mean, it's been pretty good this year, but what we're seing, they've given up 3 runs.
It's 3 runs in 3 games
against SEC teams.
And in Florida, that had this explosive lineup that everybody, rightfully so, fears.
Respect. You wanted the Florida matchup. You did.
I felt like Florida was a better matchup.
Yep, you wanted that matchup. I was a little scared of Florida's offense, especially when they scored 15 runs. The one thing I was thinking as I'm watching that game with my sons is like, maybe this is it. Like, this is they're out. But to start the game the way Florida did with the walks, and we didn't have a hit in that first inning, right?
No.
Right. And you score a couple runs, I'm thinking to myself, this could be our day. And then the guy they brought in, his name escapes me at the moment, was fantastic. He was really good for a while.
Fisher.
He was really
good. Fisher's his first name. Why can't I think of his last name? Anyway.
But
not DeBerry. That's an old Air Force coach. But
the pitching has been such next level stuff that I don't know if we're going to get that against Tennessee. If you get that against Tennessee, celebrate your national championship, regardless of people's injuries or whatever. If you get that kind of pitching, you win.
What has gone on with Justin Lampkin? Justin Lampkin went to bed one night, and he woke up. He went to bed as Justin Lampkin, woke up Justin Verlander.
Right.
You like that?
From a couple years ago.
Yeah, from a couple of years.
Yeah, not this year.
Yeah, because this year he's on the IR.
But 5 hits, 5 innings. How many hits does it say? I can't see. Three. 9 strikeouts. And
can we talk about those 3 hits?
Oh, you were going through them before the game.
Okay,
or before the show.
The first one's a double in the right field that I think we can all say if Lavallette's right,
he makes that play.
He makes it's almost routine.
Yep.
The next one is a Caglione beats the shift, and I don't think he meant to. I think he was just so far behind it that he was able to punch one into, on the ground into left field pass because there was such a dramatic shift to the right, as it's supposed to be. And then the third hit was off of Lampkin's glove. What would have been if he doesn't hit it, and no criticism for him trying to make a play, but if he doesn't hit it, it's right at Camarillo for a double play. Right. Those are the 3 hits, and then in the 8th or 9th inning, Caglione got a nice hit right up the middle, but you'll give that guy singles.
Can we hear from the Schloss?
Let's do.
Is that okay to call him the Schloss?
I
feel I've just started doing it today, and I like it.
Right now, I just want to call him Sir.
The boss.
The boss. Schloss the boss.
Okay, you know what? We may have to listen to Bruce Springsteen at some point, too. All right. Here's Schlossnagle yesterday. Jim, my good friend Jim. My good friend Jim Schlossnagle talking about his opening statement after the win against Florida.
Great ball game. I thought we played really, really well. Lampkin was obviously outstanding. The decision was just trying to figure out how long to leave him in there, win the game, but still give us a chance over the weekend since we're down a pitcher. But Stewie made big pitches, get us out of a jam. Cortez will be better next time, I have no doubt. And obviously, Grahovic, it's a big hits, and I thought Sorrell's homer really played a huge part of the game just to give us a little bit of a length there on the lead. So excited to get some rest and excited to get to play for a national title.
That last sentence right there.
Get some rest and play for a national title.
Everybody says it, right? Like we're all playing for a national title, especially when you're in the SEC. But are you really until you're in the finals? Not really. Who's in the finals?
The Texas A&M Aggies and the Tennessee Volunteers.
2 programs that have never won a national championship in baseball.
Well, somebody's going to, and I'm counting on it being the guys from College Station.
Do maroon and white all day, baby.
All day.
All freaking day.
All freaking day and all night.
Almost said a word I shouldn't say.
All day and all night.
And all day again?
Yeah. All weekend. Which, by the way, is Saturday and Sunday.
Well, where does this week begin?
All I know is the weekend is Saturday and Sunday. That tells me the week begins on Monday.
The work week does. But the calendar week begins on Sunday. What team are you on, folks? 979-6930-1150. iDoc Mike, our good friend.
Yes, he is.
He says, don't question the Schloss or the wiener. That's an OBism.
I would not.
Okay. Shirt idea.
Yeah.
Don't question the Schloss or the wiener. Who would buy it? I don't think management would be okay with that shirt, so we may have to do it on the black market undercover on your little, what is it called? Those sales pages that you have, Facebook Marketplace, whatever.
Maybe you put the don't question the Schloss on the front and then on the back. Or wiener. Anyway. Max Wiener. What a maximum job he's done.
And again, like
he's transformed what was a struggling pitching staff last year into, again, you just mentioned it, 3 runs allowed in 3 College World Series games.
I have a dream that A&M just does it in 2. We don't need to go to the Monday game. Let's just get it over with.
I'm with you, man.
All right?
I'm dreaming it too.
And if they do, wherever I'm standing, I will party to at least 11 p.m.
I'll stay up to 11:15. I'm going to party like it's
I feel
1999.
Bad. So, like, the game ends, call it at 9:50, 10 o'clock in that range, probably?
I mean,
around there? What do you think?
Yeah, probably.
Guys, anybody have an opinion when the game ended? It was like 9:50, 10, right? It wasn't quite, it wasn't late.
Yeah,
but
it's late for us.
At 10:43, Steve Nagley texted me.
Yeah.
That's Kay's dad, who's my new BFF. and he was saying he was going to go enjoy the evening. And I didn't see that text message until this morning at around 5 o'clock because I watched the first couple of interviews. I watched a little bit of Van Pelt, and then I was out. But I didn't sleep well, but I tried.
I got a text this morning at 4:30 from my friend Jeff Phillips, who was saying, hey, I'm heading up to Omaha. We're on the way. So I was like, well, go. Great, man. That's great.
And enjoy it. All right, so how are you feeling about it? I want you guys to verbalize it. You can text the show, but I want to hear from you. 979-693-1150. Who wasn't planning on going to Omaha? I know there's somebody out there that wasn't planning on. They're like, you know what, honey? I don't care. We already did the Cancun vacation. We're going. We're driving. We're going. I want to hear from you. 979-693-1150. Let's go around the room and say hi to the people out there. Cade Bickham behind the glass basically gets to share part of this national championship if it happens because he's on the baseball team. Just the other baseball team. But he can celebrate it.
No, I agree. That's true. I think that I should get a share. I think I should at least get to touch the trophy. Something like that.
You should touch the trophy.
I should at least get to do that. I feel like that's fair.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if they're going to let you fondle that trophy.
Okay, OB.
All right.
Here's the line. All right, here's the line. Here's OB. We're supposed to stand right here.
Here's the monster.
OB goes here.
It's monster morning here on TexAgs Radio, I guess.
Imagine if they actually win the national championship.
Oh my God. You might be drinking alcohol at that point.
I may.
Did you have any last night?
No.
Nothing?
Iced tea.
Just iced tea.
About four glasses of it.
Gosh. It's probably still in your system.
Now, Jason Howell was drinking.
Oh, he'll throw down, bro.
He'll drink some alcohol now.
We went to the Angry Elephant for one of our appearances in Dallas. He
by the time he's finished, the Elephant's very happy.
Hey, if they win this thing, I'm not going to have alcohol, but I'll party with the people.
You know, I'm going to I don't drink, but I'm going to if they win this thing, I'm drinking alcohol. I may get so I may have 2 drinks. 2 drinks will have me out.
Red Bull and vodka, that would be crazy version of you. Or excuse me, Monster and vodka.
Monster Red Bull OB would be electric.
I will bring a Monster and say, hey, can you fix this? Can you make me a Monster screwdriver, I guess?
Hey, now. Anything else, Cade?
Well, I was just going to say, it's just crazy to see this, like an A&M team in the national I know it's been a longer road for you guys, but it's crazy. First time in my life seeing one of the 3 major sports, if we're talking baseball, basketball, football. Obviously, women's basketball got the championship in 2010.
Was it 2010 or 2011?
I think it was
2011, one of those two.
Yep.
But just crazy to see this team in the national championship. I mean, they look great right now.
Hey, Brauninger called it. Way back when? Way back in January. I mean, a lot of people were saying that they could be playing for the national championship, but Brauninger was actually.
I would love to be fully strength, right, against them. I would love to have Sadeo. I would love to have Braden. I'd love to have Jace to be his normal self. I'd love all that. I would love for Hayden Schott not to have his injuries, right? I'd love that. I also think there's a little charm to what's going on here because Caden Kent we don't know this version of him. We may not know this version of Justin Lampkin, even though we had seen flashes of it.
Yeah.
If not forced to.
The intestinal fortitude of these
term.
guys.
That's a wrestling term right there.
It's just crazy. That's the strength of this team. It's not necessarily the pitching, even though the pitching is outstanding. It's not necessarily the hitting, even though, what about Sorrell's home run? We don't even talk about that, even though it was very timely and it carried them a lot of the year. But it's the strength of this team is just the mental toughness and the intestinal fortitude.
Yes, sir.
And the cojones.
Those cojones.
You see.
Yeah, that's right.
See, grande.
Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Carson Stein is there for the 3rd straight day. Carson, are you the reason A&M is winning?
Maybe. Maybe it's a sign you guys should just keep me on.
Nah. They won a bunch of games without you. What's up, buddy?
Morning. How are y'all doing this morning?
What do you think?
I'm a little depressed.
I think Monster Man OB over there is having a good one this morning.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I am.
Moby.
I'm going to have some more good ones, too.
What else do you have, buddy?
I just wanted to get one text in from Madden in Houston. Says, it's amazing that Florida saw Lampkin days earlier and still couldn't do anything against him. He's on a tear right now.
He is on a tear.
I don't have his numbers right in front of me in the 8 innings he's pitched. If somebody can get
0 runs, right? Or maybe 2. I don't know.
And a ridiculous number of strikeouts.
Yeah. In 8 innings, he has 15 strikeouts, by the way.
15 strikeouts in 8 innings.
Is that good?
That's pretty good.
Is that really good?
That would mean 5 whole innings. They were all struck out.
Hey, can you read Chase and Houston's as well? I know there's a couple.
Chase always has a good input.
I got it for you.
No, I got it. Here we go. Chase and Houston texted, the great thing about baseball season, they've been great all year, and they were supposed to be good at the start of the year. This didn't come out of nowhere or a surprise with how good they are. And now they play for a national championship. This is exactly what every Aggie fan has dreamed of forever.
So here's the thing. Everything he said there is correct. They didn't come out of left field, or however he phrased it. But the way they've done it is a little out of left field.
And the way, and again, I don't think you can overstate how impressive it is the way they've dealt with so much. Yet, Lavalettes hurt, Braden's out, Cedeo's out, Schott is hurt, Appel is hurt. And they just keep finding a way because they're just some tough-minded young men.
There you go. You're going to like this text right here, OB. Cody says, my son's name is Hagen. My stepson's name is Hayden, 28 and 27-year-old, respectively.
Hayden and Hagen.
The Hagen Smith from Arkansas is pretty good. If he decided to not go to the MLB and transfer to a championship program,
if you want to
be on number 2 or 3
on championship.
All right, so let's try to get one last text message as I get my association spot open, and take it away, Carson.
We got one saying, what I love about Schloss is that every pitcher is on a short leash. No matter how you did yesterday, you were on a short leash.
At what point did you know, okay, we got to make a change with Chris?
I think probably when he threw the fifth ball, I'm like, I
don't know.
I keep telling myself, this is the Cortez roller coaster. Because he could walk 2 and strike out the next 3. Because we've seen similar things. And I'm thinking, well, hopefully that's going to be it. And Schloss was like, no,
we're good.
We're not going to do this. We're going to
figure it out.
We're going to figure it out. And then here comes Josh Stewart.
Freaking Josh Stewart.
He just slammed the door.
I mean, he didn't gingerly close it.
He slammed it.
He had a monster energy before he did that.
Yeah, like you're going to cut off your foot when you slam it if you try to put it in the way.
A little more grotesque than I was expecting.
That's right. I wanted it. It was the foot of a gator.
What about his snout?
Maybe it's the gator snout. I don't know.
I mean, because it would be a really long arm. I'm trying to picture it. Maybe
he was like Troy Landry out there. Dude, Elizabeth.
Where's that from?
Swamp People.
Oh, okay, well, I have no clue.
He's out there killing gators.
Swamp People's a show?
Yeah.
I remember the movie Swamp Thing. Different thing, right?
You've never seen Swamp People, David?
No, that sounds like the worst show ever.
No, it's a great show.
What is it about? People who live on the swamp?
It's about people who live on the swamp and shoot alligators for a living.
Kind of like Lampkin and Stewart. No. Just out there killing gators.
I've watched Cocaine Cowboys.
These are just dead gators.
Dead gators. All right, let's hit a break here.
They were the gator chumps.
We are 6 minutes beyond the point we're supposed to hit a break. Louis, apologies. It's a special day. Even though it could be a random Tuesday, we go late. It's what we do. All right, Aggies headquarters in Omaha. If you are in Omaha, you've probably gone there. If you are headed to Omaha for the last, hopefully, 2 games for the Aggie National Championship, you want to go hang out with the good friends there at the Association of Former Students and the 12th Man Foundation, who invite you to a pregame gathering at the Aggie headquarters located at DJ's Dugout Sports Bar in downtown Omaha. So the event begins 3 hours before each Aggie game and wraps up 30 minutes prior to the first pitch, giving you plenty of time for the 12-minute walk. Enjoy good bull with fellow Aggies and free registration that includes snacks, complimentary drink ticket to kick off that game day festivity. Make sure to head over to the Aggie headquarters in Omaha to get ready to watch Aggie baseball. For more information about the event and register, visit tx.ag/OmahaHQ. Again, that is tx.ag/OmahaHQ. let this play. YouTube won't hear it, but the rest of the world will hear it.
You got to get to the line. That makes it.
Because I've rebranded myself.
Yes, to Right Now Nuño.
Right Now Nuño, because we're going to hopefully win a championship right now.
Right now.
Not next year, Nuño.
No.
Right now, Nuño.
Right, but
shirt idea. It has next year Nuño with an X on it, and on top of it, Right Now Nuño. Right now.
Nuño. That is as much of a from next year Nuño to Right Now Nuño is that is as much a transformation as the pitching staff under Max Wiener.
Look, I enjoy the journey, buddy. I enjoy winning. I enjoy the stories.
Who are you kidding? I'm the guy that sits next to you in the press box when you got this bipolar thing going on every play.
Maybe the guy who's texting me is very much like me, right? I just got him on the wrong one. It's TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. I'm going to read this because it kind of hurts my feelings.
All right, let's hear it.
A little bit, just a little bit. So Chili, who's a LSU fan who listens to the show. He's very polite. He's all about LSU, and he calls us out when we're wrong about things, but he's also very complimentary. He makes a comment. He goes, I really want this for OB. I can't something to that effect.
Okay, he's going to attack me?
No. Congrats, Aggies. I hope y'all win for OB. That's what he says.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, yo, what's up, dog? Like, I'm here. Like, I'm on the show with OB. And I'm like, I didn't say dog. I was like, what about me? And he goes, OB's been waiting longer.
Well, I am older.
But you haven't been a lifelong Aggie.
Well, that's true.
You joined the team, and we appreciate you, and we're happy you're with us. This is something I've been doing since I was 8 years old.
Well, how old were you in 1993?
1993, I was 15.
Okay.
16.
So you have been invested longer than me because I came down in 93 and started really
professionally. You've been waiting longer than I have, no doubt. But I started watching Aggie sports at 7 and 8 years old. Whenever Bucky started playing is when I remember my Aggiehood beginning. So what was that? 86, 87?
Yeah, I guess.
All right?
Yeah.
So but it doesn't matter. It's for all of us. T-shirt Aggies, lifelong Aggies, people who want to be Aggies. You can all celebrate.
By the way, Chili, thank you, because I'm going to tell you this. Of course, last year, like it or not, I rooted for LSU for obvious reasons.
But a different kind of root, right?
I wanted them to win.
Yeah.
Because, of course, my son goes there. So, does that mean Chili's rooting for us?
I don't think so. I don't think that happens.
You don't think so?
No. Okay. Winderong says y'all need to stop teasing us with T-shirts that'll never be made. I'm telling you, I have brilliant ideas. I just need there's certain people that can come up with the idea. Then you need somebody to execute the idea.
Yeah. I'm
Carson, what are you not doing these shirts for us, dude? You know who will? I bet you Riley will.
Riley?
I'll make it a competition between the interns. Who makes the best shirt? Huh. Riley back there made this packet for me.
You know what?
Fantastic.
You know what shirt I want to see made? I want to see it say,
We are the champions?
Texas A&M 2024 National Baseball Champions. That's the shirt I want to see.
Look, they're not that far out.
2 wins.
54 outs.
54 outs.
I did the math right there.
They always say don't count the outs. Just go win.
Just go win.
Two times. Johnny 2 times or whatever.
Jimmy
2 times or what?
Hey, can we hear from the team?
Let's do.
There was a question to the 3 gentlemen on the podium. Josh Stewart, Caden Sorrell. Who was the other one? Remind me. Anybody? We'll watch it. Asking about what this means for the program. So, Justin Lampkin, sorry. Here it is.
Be a question for any 3 of you. I know the job's not done yet, but you're about to be part of the first Texas A&M team to make the College World Series finals. What does that mean to you?
I'd say it means a lot to me. I grew up a big A&M fan, so it's awesome to be a part of the team that is able to be the first team that's made the finals. It's really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, truly exciting being that team, and I'm just so proud of this group of guys and how selfless we've been playing these last few weeks, so really proud of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an amazing feeling. I remember coming to these games when I was 10 years old and always wanted to be a part of this. So, finally being here and making it this far, it's an amazing feeling, but obviously the job's not finished yet.
Job not done.
Nope. You got to finish it off. And, I mean, it's a spectacular season no matter what, right? But if you finish off with the championship, it's I don't know what's better than spectacular.
I was looking through the A&M notes that they sent out last night. The pitches,
Would Brett Bielema call this borderline erotic?
He might say that, yeah.
I don't even think it's borderline anymore.
The Texas A&M pitching staff struck out 14 Gators and finished the game, or the season, I should say, with 680 strikeouts, a new program record. And they're going to keep adding to that.
That's amazing. Hey, my good friend and Texas A&M author and historian, Rusty Burson, has tickets, but he has commitments, business commitments this week. So if they make it, he says that they make it to the final game because he can't be there because of the business commitment that he can't cancel. But if they make it, he and his wife are driving up there for the championship game.
So great.
I kind of hope if he only has tickets for the third game, I kind of hope he just has to eat it. I hope it's just 2 games.
Yeah, I hope he's sorry.
Sorry,
buddy.
Russ.
Yeah,
but you know what? He's a big Rangers fan.
And he got to celebrate with you on that.
And then, well, imagine being able to celebrate the Rangers, a World Series, and a Texas A&M national championship in a 7-month period.
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty good. Now, you do know that I celebrated a championship recently. So how about me in a month?
Yeah, but nobody gives a crap about European kickball.
The most popular team in the world?
This is the United States of America.
Hey, I will celebrate the Aggie baseball championship way more than that. I just kind of sat like, all right, good job, guys. This will be like running through the house, like neighbors going to be like calling the police, and they're like, oh, he's just doing the baseball thing. That's
I'm
fine.
going to say that. Next thing you're going to do is be celebrating cricket championships. It's the other part of the world.
Have I ever spoken about cricket?
No.
I do speak combat sports, so if you want to keep dissing me, keep talking.
I'm not dissing you. I'm dissing soccer and cricket.
Good point. All right, we'll hit a break. I think Richard Zane is going to join us on the other side. Ground shuttle time. They offer frequent and reliable shuttles from Bryan College Station to George Bush Intercontinental Airport. So, we're traveling to Seattle on Saturday. Easiest way to get to the airport is let them do the driving for you, so you don't have to worry about traffic and parking at that god-awful parking situation there. Thank you, The Zone. I appreciate you guys. So bottom line is you want to use them for wherever you go to Bush, right? You want to go use them. They're going to get you there 9 shuttle times on weekdays every hour and a half, 5 shuttle times on weekends every 2.5 hours. Excellent for business travelers and commuting. And also, they have charter service anywhere in Texas. Their shuttle service seats up to 14 passengers. They're local, and Camilo runs the show over there, and he does not book anything that he cannot guarantee. Go to the website, groundshuttle.com. That is groundshuttle.com, or call them 855-303-4415. So if you're going to Omaha, use Ground Shuttle, 855-303-4415. Ground Shuttle, let them do the driving. It's a good song right here.
Yeah, Lover Boy. Everybody's working for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Hopefully not Monday, because we win.
Hopefully not Monday. Hopefully it's Aggies 2 and out, 2 and home, and to celebrate. And can you imagine the party waiting for them?
Oh, I can imagine.
I'm going to go down to Northgate. I'm going to go down to Northgate if they win it.
Bruh.
I'm going to go down to Northgate and get arrested.
Bro, FaceTime me. FaceTime me. I won't be there.
Maybe I
FaceTime
won't
me.
get arrested, but I'm gonna be that guy with the
What are the
lampshade on.
chances your like arrest photo, what do they call it, is all over Texas?
I'm going to try to get that snake out of the Dixie chicken.
TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. We go to the hotline. Ricardo Zane, Richard Zane, who celebrated a nice victory last night, I'm assuming. Richard, good morning, buddy.
Hey, I got a question. If Olin goes to Northgate and gets arrested, whose mugshot is cooler, Olin Buchanan's or Justin Timberlake's?
The coolest man on the planet?
Does Mick Jagger have a
Thank you for
mugshot
saying
out there
that
I
about
don't
me.
know about?
Has Mick Jagger...
Actually, he has been arrested before,
For
Mick
what?
Jagger.
What has he done?
I'm sure it was
Partying.
possession or something like that. Yeah.
I think it will be Justin Timberlake. As much as I love OB, how was last night, dude? Tell me, like, you did the game, you did all your work afterwards, probably a couple hours. Did you get to celebrate a little bit?
Yeah, we definitely celebrated a little bit. I'm not lounging like I was a couple nights ago, but I'm definitely sitting back and taking it in. I thought pretty long and hard about big leaguing you and not even getting out of bed this morning, but it's time to be a professional when David Nuño wants you on TexAgs Radio. And yes, we definitely had a little bit of a celebration. We enjoyed ourselves. We got in all of our work. We finished just before midnight, and then we went to the place where you get the Jello shots. We hung out, and then we walked over and met up with our fearless leader, Mr. William Liucci, and we just enjoyed ourselves. It's something that's pretty historic, something that literally none of us on this travel party have seen. We actually saw Kay Nagley's parents there in Omaha, and Steve Nagley, who Olin Buchanan is big buddies with. I looked at him and was like, hey, this is the first time you and me and your daughter and most everybody else in this bar has ever seen Texas A&M in one of the big three sports play for a national title. So it was worth celebrating, right? The job's not done. Nobody in that clubhouse thinks that the job is done and they're going to refocus and get re-energized and try to win 2 more games and bring home the biggest prize back to Aggie land at the end of the weekend or perhaps Monday.
What would be the appropriate celebration cocktail for the Aggies after last night? And if they win, is there or if they win, is there a cocktail that would just be appropriate for the situation?
I don't know enough about that industry, and that I don't go to the
Zane
meetings.
probably does. I guarantee you, Kay Nagley or Steve Nagley does.
Because I'm just going to assume here.
Kay Nagley, the queen of Northgate.
Zane, tell me. Zane, tell me this. Like, Schloss seems like the guy who he may have like a drink, but then it's all to focus. There's nothing to party about yet for that baseball team. So to me, they'll maybe have a little cocktail, discuss strategy, and move on. Is that kind of
I
your
disagree
vibe?
completely.
Okay.
Yeah, right? Like,
Celebrate
you've done
last
something
night.
that's never been done before in program history. That last night, what they did and accomplished and achieved last night is absolutely worth celebrating. And plus, you've got 2 days to rest and sleep off that hangover. So enjoy it, right? Like, but obviously, the job's not done. The biggest prize is still out there. You've still got the opportunity to get it, and you're going to be set up well to do so, at least as well as you possibly can be, because you avoid the if necessary game today against Florida by going 3-0 and to start the College World Series. But it's absolutely worth celebrating. It's something that none of these kids have ever done before, and they should enjoy it. I think Aggie fans everywhere should enjoy it. But by the time media and practice day comes around tomorrow ahead of the championship series, they'll be refocused. They'll be ready to go.
All right, let's just talk about the coaching masterpiece again. And when I say that, that includes all parties involved, right? Max Weiner, Schloss, Nolan Kane, Michael Early. They just seem to have the it, Richard.
I mean, I know we should start with the head man because this is his ball club and he deserves a ton of flowers as well. But man, Max Weiner and the job that guy has done this year. Think about how bad's the right word. How think about the struggles they had throwing strikes last year.
Mm-hmm.
They set a they shattered a program record for walks in a single season. And then last night, they set a program record for strikeouts in a single season. Literally polar opposites on the spectrum. Incredible. They tie a program record with their 12th shutout of the year last night in a 6-0 victory. The pitching staff has been incredible. It's cliche, but it is true. It's you only go as far in the postseason as your pitching allows you to, and Texas A&M's getting there because of their pitching. They've only allowed 3 runs in 27 innings in Omaha. That's incredible. Justin Lampkin making me look like a smart person, which is extremely difficult to do. I picked him as my X factor. 5 scoreless innings last night. He sets a program record for strikeouts by an Aggie pitcher in Omaha with 9. Man, these guys, the coaching staff, and it starts with pitching this week, but the talent acquisition of Nolan Cain and Mike Early and Max Wiener, and of course Jim Schlossnagle's incredible because look at who did it again last night. A true freshman in Caden Sorrell has 3 RBIs. Caden Kent could have left, but he stuck around. He has another RBI, another big hit. Gavin Grahovic, a true freshman, an RBI. Like these guys, man, it is a complete team, and the coaching staff is to be credited for what they put together in Aggieland this year.
So, how confident are you? I mean, can you not be confident? I know that Tennessee may be even more explosive than Florida's offense. Can they? How confident are you that they can go out and continue this masterful pitching against that lineup?
I mean, the job gets so much more difficult, right? It's like you're playing a video game and you've got the final boss still waiting for you. I think, Tennessee right now is the most complete college baseball team in the country. I think they're probably the best college baseball team in the country. A lot of that has to do, at least me saying that has a lot to do with who Texas A&M doesn't have right now, and Braden Montgomery and Shane Sadeo after they were lost a couple weeks ago, and then Chase Levelette's playing at less than 100%. After the injury he sustained against Kentucky. But think about everybody else who's been playing at less than 100%. Ted Burton tweaked a hamstring in Baton Rouge like a month and a half ago. Jackson Appel, Bronny keeps telling us, essentially saying that he's held together by duct tape, but he keeps going out there and producing and playing a fantastic catcher behind the plate. Hayden Schott running around on one knee. Gavin Grahovic's got a bum shoulder. So these dudes just keep finding ways to get it done. Why wouldn't you be confident in Texas A&M, right? Coach Schlossnagle uses the line all the time that it's not the best team that wins, but it's the team that plays the best. And so far, Texas A&M's been playing the best, at least in their side of the bracket, and that's why they're through to the championship series. Tennessee is a fantastic ball club, and they've really run through the College World Series thus far, but at least in my opinion, they've been playing in the easier side of the 8 teams in here, where they got to play 3 ACC teams versus A&M, who was in the side with 3 SEC teams.
100%.
I'll have to sit down and do a deeper dive into Tennessee in the coming hours as we prepare for Friday's media day. But I mean, A&M's got as good a shot as they've ever had to win a national title, and I don't know why you would, after last night and after what they've achieved so far this year, and after the run that they've been on, they're 8-0 in the NCAA tournament right now. After that, I don't know why you would feel the need to be pessimistic about their shots in the national title series. And I fight that a lot because you know me, OB, I'm pretty pessimistic, but they've got a good shot, man. They've got a great shot. Why? It's pretty much a why not us kind of feeling at this point. And that phrase goes back to those 2004 Red Sox after they were down 3 games to none against the Yankees in the 2004 ALCS. But A&M, they might be down a couple players, but why not us, man?
Well, and Richard, we got to hit a break here in a second, but to me, it's like we still haven't had a Jace game. We're starting to get some Gavin.
He
right?
broke out of a slump.
Can you imagine, against Tennessee, those 2 guys together? We're not obviously going to get the trio doing something because Braden's out, but, they're doing it without, their superstars having these superstar-esque moments, and I feel like it's coming.
And beyond that, Jace is a great point. Jace is obviously playing well below 100% after that hamstring issue, but he's good enough to go. And Jace Levelette, when he's good enough to go, he's still a great player, even if he's not at full health. I haven't thought that Jackson Appel has produced a ton in 3 games. Ted Burton hit a ton of balls hard yesterday, but didn't have anything to show for it really. So they've got dudes that they've relied on all year, that have come through all year, that if they all click, for 3 games or 2 games this next weekend, that absolutely they could win a national championship, even though they're playing what is one of the best teams in college baseball history and currently the best team in college baseball.
Well, that's what makes them so good, right? Because you don't have to count on Jace to have a big game. You know, it might be Caden Kent. It might be Hayden Schott. It might be Ali Camarillo. It could be anybody up and down that lineup, and that goes back to what I was saying. No matter what the situation is, somebody's stepping up. The intestinal fortitude of this team is just amazing.
Richard, great work, buddy. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'm going to get a water and take a nap, so I'll talk to you guys later this morning.
Later, buddy. Good stuff. All right, right now, FBS Appliance, their team of experts are there to help you with the appliances that make your house a home. They have the top brands like Bosch and an expert staff and trained installers to help you guide you through your purchase. They want to be your trusted appliance store. They have so many good people that work there at FBS. They're committed to customer satisfaction at the core of everything that they do. That is why they've assembled a team of trained sales professionals who are experts in their field. They provide personalized assistance, drawing on the product knowledge and expertise to guide you through that selection process. Whether it's understanding appliance features, accommodating design preferences, or working within your budget, their team is dedicated to helping you make informed decisions and finding the perfect appliance that fits your need. Visit any of their 8 showrooms across Texas or find them online. FactoryBuilderStores.com. That is FactoryBuilderStores.com. Check out FBS. Journey. What a journey it's been, my friend.
Don't stop believing.
I've never stopped.
Okay.
I began long ago. Hey, Can I we have like a minute left.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something
Tell
not baseball related?
Tell me.
My freaking puppies. Okay, Carson knows about these puppies. Okay,
Yeah.
they're 6 months old. I love them and I hate them all at the same time. Yesterday I had to take one of them to the vet because she ate everything in sight and it was blocked. Couldn't get through.
Gotcha.
So we had to induce vomiting. We had there's a lot of stuff we had to do. Okay, so the vet says buy them a basket muzzle. Okay, this way because they found in her stomach plastic, tree bark, like you name it. She had everything. She buy them a muzzle for whenever you're not around. So we bought them both a muzzle yesterday.
They eat it?
I left this morning with them on. Cruz texted me during the break. They've destroyed the muzzles. They found a way to take it off because we suck at putting stuff on. I'm always naked. No, I'm kidding. Regardless, they destroyed it. So I'm a little upset.
Just like Lampkin and Stewart and Ossenbeck destroyed that that Florida lineup.
That's why I appreciate you because I'm in a bad mood about that, but it just reminds me what's the most important thing right now that Aggie baseball.
Winning. Just winning that national championship.
You know who we have next?
Who?
Brauninger.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Is Liucci on today?
I hope.
I'm sure he'll attack me.
I'm scared to text him because I don't know if he's awake yet. Because, they were out late. I get it.
Right.
But he's supposed to be on at 10, but I don't think we discussed it.
If he is, so he probably hadn't heard this, the
Not
first
yet.
hour.
He'll hear
okay,
it.
he won't be attacking me then.
He'll hear it later, and he'll attack me.
Then he'll attack me. Yeah.
Good job, Obi. Thank you. 2 monsters tomorrow, okay?
2?
No,
Okay.
Please no.
I'll
Please
do it.
no. When we come back, Ryan Brauninger next on TexAgs Radio. Welcome back in. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Garner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go straight to the hotline. Ryan Brauninger is joining us live from Omaha. Bronny, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, Nuño. I got to catch some of the first hour.
Good.
Olin was pretty hyped up. I don't think he needed the caffeine. My favorite story is that he went to walk-ons with Jason Howell and had 3 iced teas. That's a wild night for OB.
Yeah, and like literally when he's talking to me, like during the break, he's gyrating as he's talking with all the caffeine he's had. So,
gyrating? Olin was gyrating?
I don't know. I felt like that was a good word for it. It's like a bobblehead, just up and down. Have you seen him raise the roof?
Well, I don't know what you would call any of Olin's dance moves, but gyrating, I think, would be the last adjective or descriptor I would use.
I'll let the listeners and viewers send me some ideas other words I can use. Brian, so I'll ask you the same thing I asked Richard. Just tell me about last night. I want to get into the games, the specifics, but just like the good vibes, the celebrations, how people were around town, just in Omaha. Just take me through last night.
Yeah, I mean, during the game, I'm calling it with Monaco, and so you're kind of wrapped up in the play-by-play, and you don't really allow yourself to start thinking about A&M playing for a national championship until that 9th inning, or at least that's when it hit me. And it's and I think a part of that has to do too is what we saw out of Florida yesterday, and how explosive their offense is, and then just they had traffic, and Josh Stewart was just massive again last night, but Justin Lampkin too. So it was like the Florida kept getting guys on, they just couldn't get anybody in. And then, when Evan Oschenbeck trots out to the mound with a 6-run lead in the 9th, you feel pretty good about winning the ball game. But yeah, afterward, just being in the tunnel, obviously being out amongst the fan base, I've never seen the smile. We got stopped so many times last night walking out of the ballpark and walking around the ballpark. Just people so excited and wanted to get our takes. Hey, can they do it? Can they beat Tennessee? And they're already looking ahead to the final series. But I think, it was kind of like a euphoric state for a lot of Aggies here in Omaha, and I would imagine a lot of Aggies back in College Station and across the state of Texas. It's been super cool, man. This has been just a super cool trip. This has been an incredible season. It really, for me, it humbles me a lot, right? Because this is my job. And there are people that are up here just on the passion of their fan base and the passion of their fanaticism for this university and for the athletic teams and being a part of the 12th man. And really they've dove head first and headlong into this baseball team. And Jim Schlossnagle's quotes last night in the post-game presser about him wanting to win for the 12th man because of how special the fan base has been for him since he's been here, but also more specifically throughout this season. So yeah, man, it was this week has been incredible, but last night will stand out amongst a lot of really fun nights here in Omaha. Last night stands out, head and shoulders above the rest of them, and hopefully, it gets surpassed here in a few days.
Bronny, I'm not surprised they're in the championship, right? What I think I'm surprised by is the way they've won some of these games. And like, for instance, Justin Lampkin, just a day or a game after the Prager game, right? Like, to get that kind of starting pitching against that kind of offense, to me, is like, it's surprising. I think Lampkin is a good pitcher. When he's good, he's really good. What we saw yesterday was legendary type stuff.
Yeah, and it backed up a legendary performance by Prager. And how often have we said this year that Ryan Prager sets the tone with the pitching staff? Now, it wasn't exactly that this week because of what Lampkin was able to do in that short start against Florida to start the College World Series. But Prager has just been a rock all year, and he has been the tone setter for the pitching staff. And what Max Wiener wants to do and what he has implemented with his staff, really it starts with outings from Ryan Prager. And he sets the bar, he sets the standard for the dominate the zone mentality for the entire staff when he gets the ball first. But Justin Lampkin, man, like, I wrote it last night, and there's so many of these stories on this team that are emerging, like the work while you wait. And the game knows. The game knows. And Justin Lampkin had a topsy-turvy season. I think that would be the best way to describe it. We saw him garner SEC Pitcher of the Week honors. We've also seen him go out there where he can't miss a barrel, and he's getting hit pretty hard. And he had some outings against, it was at LSU where it just unravels within 3 or 4 hitters. And So you're going through that start against Florida the first time up here, and you're going, okay, like he's kind of mowing through them, but you just have in this back of your mind that, is it going to unravel? And when it does, it can happen fast. Well, it never happened for him on night one. So they give him the ball again, and he just does it in a repeat fashion and just mows through one of the most talented lineups in the country. And look, when he was going through his struggles in the regular season, you talk to team sources, and Jim Schlossnagle would come in, and we would ask about Lampkin, and he'd sit in that chair next to you and say, yeah, he's really working on stuff with Max Wiener in the bullpen in these weekly sessions, and they're tinkering with stuff, and they're trying to figure out, how do they improve his pitch shapes? How do they improve his pitch arsenal to give him more options to get out of tight spots? Is he tipping pitches? They're going through kind of the body mapping of his delivery to see if he is tipping his hand ahead of pitches, and is that something that other teams have on him? So I'm sure there were a lot of weeks of frustration where he didn't pitch at all, where these bullpen sessions were getting better, but not probably maybe not to his expectation level or where the staff wanted him to be. But he just kept working, man. And the thing about Justin Lampkin that I can remember going back to coaching against him in travel ball and then watching him pitch at Corpus Christi Cal Allen is he's the same guy. Good, bad, you don't get anything out of Justin Lampkin. Like, he is as even-keeled as you could ever want to be as a starting pitcher. And Jim Schlossnagle has said that, like, sometimes it's too – like, he's so even-keeled that it might be to his detriment because Schlossnagle wants him to show a little fired-up emotion when things go well. But that's just who he is. Like, his heartbeat never changes. And I think just shifting his mentality to go from having to manage a way through a start, that's the way he was thinking. Okay, I'm starting. I got to manage my way through these innings, to one inning save mentality that Max Wiener says all the time. Like, okay, I'm not worried about the second inning. I'm going to go here and blow the doors off in the first. And if I get through it, I'm going to go sit in the dugout. And when I go back out for the second inning, I'm not trying to manage anything. I'm trying to blow the doors off again. And we're going to see how many times we can do that tonight. And that change in mentality, also with the changes in some of the pitch shapes, and really kind of getting Lampkin back to what he is, like an ultimate strike thrower with a feel to throw 3 pitches. That, to me, is like a direct there's a direct line or direct correlation to what he did and what Caden Kent's done, right? Like, it hasn't gone how you wanted it to, hasn't gone how you expected it to. What can you do about it? Well, I got to keep working. I got to work while I wait because my opportunity may come back around. And it may happen because Braden Montgomery snaps his ankle in a super regional game. Or it may happen because Shane Sadeo throws 11 pitches and blows his elbow out in a super regional game. That's why both of these guys are getting the opportunities they are. And if they're not prepared to take these because of the work that they did in March, April, May, then they're not having the success they've had in June.
I think there's a two-way compliment there, right? Because you got to credit the player for having the right attitude and not sulking and working and waiting for your moment. There's that part. And then there's the other part for Schloss and the staff to communicate, hey, your time is coming. Just like he's done with Ryan Targac in the past and it paid off. Just like that, I think there's double accolades that can be given out for the way this team has handled that.
Yeah, and it's coaching points that they can take for years going forward. And Jim Schlossnagle could be coaching in 5 years and going, let me tell you all the story about Caden Kent. Or he could be having, Max Wiener. I'm not even saying because I think Max Wiener's career is a rocket ship, and we're going to sit back and look at this and go, man, we were at the front end. We got to see Max Wiener's first few years of being a college baseball coach. But at some point in his career, Max Wiener is going to tell a kid, hey, let me talk to you about Justin Lampkin and what he did and how he overcame this stuff. And, went out there in Omaha after, again, like a real up and down season that didn't meet the expectation level that he had set for himself or that the staff had for him, and corrected himself. And the only way he did it was that in all these weeks where he wasn't seeing the mound as much as he wanted to and the stuff wasn't moving how he wanted to and he wasn't getting the results he desired, he just kept working. He just kept working and he just kept getting better so that when his time came on the biggest stage in college baseball, he goes through one of the most talented orders in the country for 8 innings and 4 hits. It's remarkable stuff.
Talking to Ryan Brauninger, who's live in Omaha. Bronny, like every game is the biggest game in program history, right? And yesterday was it. And then the game 1 against Tennessee, the 52 wins, this entire magical ride. I had a gentleman send me Schloss's opening press conference, and we haven't broken it down today because it's all about ahead and yesterday, but there was a lot of nuggets he gave us day 1 that have come to fruition. Can you remember back to his opening day press conference, some of the vision he laid out and some of the things we are seeing play out as we speak?
Yeah, I think the number one quote that I remember was, the goal is a national championship, and it'll never be anything shorter than that. And he said he will work every day to bring a national championship to Texas A&M. And I think, if you stopped his career right now in College Station and said, okay, has he lived up to his end of the bargain on that front? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. And, it's not just about the product he put on the field. It's about the talent he's acquired. It's about the coaching staff he's put together. It's about the training staff he's put together. It's all been national championship level type stuff. And I think that had to be a cool personal moment for him. He would never say it because he's, wants to deflect it to his team. But I imagine he had a pretty big smile on his face last night he's been on the cusp of getting to this point a lot in his career. He'd been 1 win away at TCU from getting to the final series, and he got beat by Coastal Carolina. So he got over that personal hump last night, and will play for the national title. So that has got to be a really cool, coaching career accomplishment for a guy that's accomplished a lot. And I'd have to go back and listen to that opening press conference again. But off the top of my head, I do remember him saying that the goal is a national championship, and it'll never be anything less. And he's on the doorstep.
Ron, you talked about Justin Lampkin and kind of his calm demeanor, doesn't get rattled, just kind of has the same disposition. Somebody who does show that fire is Ali Camarillo, and he has been freaking fantastic from the triple to his defense to his fire. Just talk a little bit about his College World Series run.
Well, yeah, I think to talk about Ali Camarillo, you've got to talk about what we thought he might be when the season started. Now, I can remember going to watch this team, their first fall workouts, right? And we had heard about Ali coming in from Cal State Northridge. I'd had some scouts reach out to me about how he looked in the Cape Cod League. But then I got to watch him take ground balls. And I can remember filming him on one of the first days of practice, and I sent it to Liucci. I was like, look at the new shortstop. Watch him field ground balls. It was as slick and as pretty of a ground ball mechanic, ground ball feel, ground ball fluidity as I've ever watched. And I'm going, well, I'm sold on his ability to play on the dirt and impact games with his glove. And then before the season, we're going, okay, if Ali Camarillo is going to be this good defensively as we anticipate him being, what could he hit and you'd be okay with it? And we were like 240, 250. If he hits 250 with as good as he defends, they'll be fine with it. He's never even come close to hitting.
Yep.
I think he had one stretch early in the year where really early where his average dipped. But since then, and for the vast majority of the season, he's been well around a 300 hitter. And he's gotten big hits to the pull side. We've seen more power than we thought we were going to get. He nearly ran a ball out of the yard last night to the opposite field. So he has been more than competent, at least in the batter's box. And again, all these transfer guys, they come from whether it's Cal State Northridge or Oregon State or Stanford or UTSA or Columbia, Penn, wherever they're coming from, they're coming to the best college baseball league in the country, and their numbers are getting better. Now, that's a credit to the kid. They're talented players that are listening to coaches. But these coaches are developing them. What Mike Early has done with the hitters in the transfer portal, every transfer portal hitter is probably calling Texas A&M is I want to be a part of that. I don't care where I'm coming from. These guys are going to make me better. So Mike Early deserves a massive amount of credit for the development of Ali Camarillo as a hitter. But, man, defensively, last year I thought that we were so spoiled with Hunter Haas. And they play shortstop in a very different way. Ali, it's real flashy and smooth, and I could watch Ali Camarillo take ground balls all day. Hunter Haas wasn't that way. Hunter Haas was if you hit it at him, you're out. Well, Ali, I'm saying the same thing. If you hit the ball at the shortstop, you're out. And so the defensive capabilities of the last two shortstops at Texas A&M, I hope Aggie fans don't ever take that for granted because it is a huge plus. And Ali's been sensational.
Gavin Grohovac, I feel like he's knocking on the door. He was great last night, right? Like we're starting to get those at-bats that we expected to see. And you had even told me, like, just look at the quality of the swings and the connection he's having with the ball. Like, it's coming, and we saw that yesterday.
Well, I actually thought I liked Gavin's swings at the end of the Kentucky game. Like, I started to say, okay, like, that looks more like a grooved Gavin Grohovac swing. And when guys are going bad, you can just, if you've watched enough baseball, you're going, okay, he's just not connected a little bit. Maybe he's in between on what he's looking for in terms of pitch selection. Maybe he doesn't have a great feel for the strike zone right now, whatever it may be. But when they start grooving their swing again and they're swinging at the right pitches, you get more encouraged, especially kids that are as talented as Gavin Grohovac. And I had a feeling last night after his first at bat, it was like an 9-pitch walk. I'm like, okay, like when Gavin has those at bats, Gavin's going to go. And then, obviously had 2 rockets, the big double, and got back to playing to a level that I think Gavin wanted to be so good for this team. And especially when he sees Braden go down and Jace go down, I think he probably goes, oh, I need to do more. Well, Gavin Grohovac, just being Gavin Grohovac, is plenty good enough. Right? He doesn't have to go put on a Superman cape. He wears one every day he wakes up. So to see Gavin maybe, let those shoulders relax a little bit and have some success and get a big extra base hit and, help propel his team to a national championship series. And by the way, I don't know if you got to watch his interview with the SEC Network. He went on stage last night after the game in Omaha with the SEC Network guys.
We got a minute of it. Let's listen to it. You're talking about
it. It was great.
Let's listen to Gavin Grohovac last night with on the SEC Network.
What does it feel like to be heading to the finals here in Omaha?
This is such a special team, special group of guys. Our fans are amazing. Wouldn't want to be here with anyone else. So, I mean, it's a blessing to be in this moment, and we're looking forward to the finals.
So here we are. You're headed to the finals on Saturday. Could you ever imagine when you're at Villa Park High School last year that not only you'd have the year that you've had, but that you'd be playing for a national championship?
Hey, we had one goal when I stepped on campus, and that was to win a natty. And the coaches had said that from the very beginning, from the very first meeting. And, we executed everything we had to do, and now we're in that opportunity.
So you've gotten the opportunity to play behind 2 tremendous pitching performances out here. What's it like for a guy in the infield, the hot corner, to have pitchers just pound the strike zone and keep you guys in the ballgame?
It's amazing. I mean, if you can fill up the strike zone, we're going to be in a great spot because our hitters are going to take care of business whenever we have to. But the way our pitching staff has been this whole entire week has been unbelievable. These guys have worked so hard, and, they deserve it. They deserve it.
So watching that, Bronny, and I want you to definitely go on. My daughter was like, how old is that guy, Dad? I go, he's a freshman. She's like, he's a freshman? He doesn't look like one. He doesn't act like one. He doesn't talk like one.
No, he's just beyond his years in every sense possible. And, Jace Lavalette became the face of the program last year after his freshman season. And he'll remain one of the faces of the program going into his junior season. But Gavin has inserted himself in that conversation now. Going forward, it's going to be like every preseason for prognostication for next spring is going to have Gavin Grohovac and Jace Lavallette's face on it. And Jace and Gavin are both outstanding representatives of the university. They're outstanding representatives of the baseball program, and they're outstanding representatives of their families. And so, like, those are when you get players that are of that caliber, but then they handle the media and they handle themselves and they handle all their interactions in that way, much like Braden Montgomery has. And I do want to talk about Braden on the other side of the break as well. But, yeah, it's hard not to watch Gavin play, and the way he plays puts a smile on your face. Then you get to interact with him and you get to know him as a kid, and you're like, okay, like this guy's going places beyond Texas A&M. And, again, much like Max Weiner, hopefully we're going to look up in 5-6 years and go, and remember when Gavin Grohovac was a freshman at A&M, and now he's on the biggest stage doing big things in the Major League Baseball, just like Jace Lavalette, just like Braden Montgomery. So, I think this program's in a great spot going forward. But they're not worried about 2025 right now. They need 2 more wins in 2024.
Big leaguers all across that team, man. It's fun. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back more with Bronny here on TexAgs Radio. Right now, we're talking Heritage Films. They make documentary films about families. I think it'd be a cool idea. Just if Chance would have been at our house last night, right, and he would have been an eye in the sky watching my kids and myself and my wife all kind of invested in this Aggie game and like kind of capturing it and just seeing us enjoy that moment and celebrating as they win. And then could you imagine having Chance there if they win the College World Series and like doing little videos and interviews and putting it all together as a family moment that we have captured forever. It'll mean so much to us because the Aggies do win at the highest level and also that we did it together. That's kind of what Chance does with Heritage Films. I mean, he does documentary films about families, family businesses, family ranches, and patriarchs in the family, matriarchs, but also capturing those awesome moments and then putting it in documentary form. He's the best at doing that. I think right now somebody's listening like, you know what? I think I want a chance to come by for the championship or for that first Aggie football game or for the time I go hunting with my buddies or the golfing outing. You should do it. You could also do a Yearflix 20-minute option, right? Q&A with the kids. Find out what they're into. I know you think you know, but have it like in a fun way and see how much they grow a couple years later and a couple years after that. The phone number for Heritage Films, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341. Go to yourheritagefilm.com. That is yourheritagefilm.com. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. It's not the Go Hour. Let's go to the, Braunie, let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center because there's a text that might catch your attention here that I think all of TexAgs needs to hear. Go ahead.
We got a text from Zach in Tennessee. Says, my wife and I said we would go to Omaha, and she said if we got a TexAgs shout out, that will be the sign for us to go. I'm surrounded by volunteers here. Any help would be great.
What was their name again?
Zach in Tennessee.
Braunie, can you tell Zach and his wife they need to come out there and hang out with you guys?
Zach and wife in Tennessee, a trip to Omaha would be well worth it to support this team, but it would also be a fantastic life experience. So here's your shout out. We lived up to our end of the bargain. Now you do your part.
Yep. I want to talk about the pitching staff's done their part, and they got to keep going. If we get that kind of pitching, they're going to win a national championship, right? But how fresh can they be for these potentially 2 to 3 games, Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really dove too much into the matchup just yet. I probably should start doing that. I've got some more radio hits kind of across the country the remainder of the day. But, it's going to be tough. Like, this is a massive hurdle, this Tennessee team. Even with a fully healthy A&M squad, winning a series against Tennessee is going to be tough. And obviously A&M's not fully healthy. And, how you mix and match it on the mound, because as good as Florida's offense was, they don't sniff Tennessee's. I mean, Tennessee is record-setting offense with multiple Major League Baseball draft prospects both this year and in years to come. Christian Moore is like on Jack Caglione's level, especially with how he's played in Omaha. But it doesn't stop there. Blake Burke has been fantastic. Dylan Dreiling seems like he hits a double or an extra base hit every time I watch him play. And Billy Amick and Dean Curley and Kavaris Tears, all these guys, they all have impacted games, in a big way for Tennessee. So, there's no holes in their lineup either. They pitch. They have enough arms to mix and match this thing, and they can play matchups if they want to, but they also have some top-end prospects on the mound, and Drew Beam and A.J. Causey, who gave A&M fits in the SEC tournament. So, yeah, I mean, this is as complete of a team that's here. And, you walk around the press box area, and a lot of folks talking about, man, this Tennessee team's going to be tough to beat for anybody. And that's right. Can A&M do it? Absolutely they can. I really wish we would get to see A&M get their shot to win a national championship with a fully healthy roster, with Braden Montgomery in right field and Jace Lavalette on, what percentage did you think he looked like he was at last night? 70?
But I still want him out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and for sure he's going to play. But it kind of breaks my heart that this team won't get a shot to play for a national championship without their horses, right? And, Justin Lampkin has been an incredible story in Omaha, but you'd kill to have Shane Sadeo in that starting rotation as well. And it would just only lengthen the bullpen, lengthen the starting rotation. But, it's going to be a fight. Here's what I told Richard last night in the post-game reaction was, I don't know how this series is going to go. I don't. What I do know, and what I can confidently say to you and the A&M fan base, is the guys wearing maroon and white are going to be up for the fight. And I think there's no question about that. Well, there's going to be no back down. What we've seen from this club in terms of toughness and togetherness and will to win and fighting for the guy next to you is off the charts. And to me, that has been the story, along with guys stepping up to fill the gaps from these injuries. I think the story of this postseason run, especially, I'd start with that Texas game and run it all the way through here, is just the togetherness and the bond and the character of this club coming out. It's way less to me about what's happened between the white lines and more about what happened in the weight room during the fall, in the meeting rooms during the fall, what happens in the clubhouse and in the dugout. That's what I think is we're seeing shine through here as they've gotten hit with just huge swings of adversity in the postseason.
I'm going to end with this comment from Bruce on the YouTube page. Nuño, it's awesome that you brought up the the 88 A's yesterday. Similarities, between the A's and Dodgers, the Ags and Balls. Let's hope for a Lavalette pulls a Kirk Gibson moment.
That would be cool. And Jace or Hayden Schott, you could pick, both of them dealing with pretty substantial. And, by the way, Teddy Burton. And, by the way, Jackson Appel. And Gavin Grahovic's dealing with a shoulder problem. it's like they're held together by duct tape and string, and they're going to play for a national championship. And again, like those kids in that locker room believe they can do it. They absolutely believe they can do it. And why would you bet against them at this point? I think they're going to be underdogs on the betting lines because Tennessee has just been, outside of that, they had that massive rally against Florida State to open it, but man, they've walked through this thing, like barely broke a sweat, and they certainly look like the more complete team, and they're healthy. So I think the betting favorites are going to be the boys from Knoxville. But again, this Aggie team, they're ready to get in the ring and let's spar it out and let's see who comes, last man standing type of mentality. And I do think that these injuries have helped put a chip on their shoulder. Like, I think they're walking around going, too many people are saying we can't do this with these injuries. Like, they've set us back too much that we won't be able to overcome it. And it seems to me like they put a little bit of a chip on their shoulder and they're playing with it.
Baseball bunch tomorrow, buddy. Thanks very much.
Yep, see you.
See you. Ryan Brauninger, the best at what he does. All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back. Victor Rojas, ESPN, our new BFF. I love that guy. He's going to be on the show right now. Schulte Roofing, an award-winning roofing company. They provide industrial, residential services to Belleville, Brenham, Bryan, College Station, Montgomery, Navasota, San Antonio, the Woodlands, and, of course, the surrounding counties. You see them all around town. They have trucks, they have vans, they have it all, and you'll see them working here. They are the home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee. I'll say it again. The home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee, the industry's absolute best roofing system, roof installation warranty, and 100% satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Since their humble beginnings back in 1994, all they do is deliver excellence to people in this area. They've grown into a top 100 roofing company, and they're recognized by all the leading publications. You can call them up at 1-800-4ROOF. That is 1-800-4ROOF, or go to their website, schulteroofing.com. That is schulteroofing.com. Check out Schulte Roofing. All right, welcome back to TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Around College Baseball, brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more, millikenreserve.com. All right, let's do this. Let's go. He's already my BFF. He doesn't know it, but like last week when he came on the show, I'm like, this guy has to be on the show all the time. And we've got him back. Victor Rojas from ESPN joining us here on the hotline. Victor, what's up, man?
Chilling. I hope my connection's all right. We've been dealing with some internet outages because of construction nearby. So hopefully it's all right. But I appreciate you having me back on so quickly too. Of all things, I mean, there's so many people in your Rolodex, and you're fishing for me to come back to back weeks. It's and maybe it's the fact that I said that the Aggies are well positioned to win at the College World Series in Omaha that I'm back. But we shall see.
Well, let me ask you. You said that, and while we all agree with you, how have they done it? Because you can't point at one thing. You can't point at Braden Montgomery and Jace Lavalette, because when they're healthy, they certainly were the thing. You can point at pitching. You can point at defense. In your opinion, how have they done it so far?
It's been the pitching and the defense, to be perfectly honest with you. They've gotten some timely hitting, there's no doubt. But when you look at the pitching and what they've been able to do and really shorten games out, it set the tone. And, look, offensively, when you've got a lineup when healthy, before the super regionals, before Braden got hurt, when you look at that lineup and know that you could score runs at will, you feel pretty comfortable about yourself and kind of takes a little pressure off the pitching staff. Now, conversely, after Braden went down and the like, and then Jace obviously tweaking his hamstring 2 nights ago, you knew that the pitching needed to step up, and they've been able to do that. And I think that's what it really boils down to. They've just commanded a presence on the mound. They've thrown a lot of strikes. They've thrown a lot of outs. The defense has stepped up, even with the little tweaking that Schloss has had to do with the lineup defensively, even moving Caden Kent over to third base mid-game a couple of games ago. It's what we said last week. What Jace told us before the Supers, next man up, and the next man up continues to step up for the Aggies.
Beyond Schloss, obviously he's been magnificent, right? But it feels like this coaching staff are a bunch of future head coaches in college baseball. Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, you always kind of look at that kind of stuff. I saw today that Schloss hired Tony Vitello at TCU years ago, so it's kind of a cool little weekend setup for the College World Series. I think ideally when you're a head coach, you know that you are hiring guys, especially younger guys. The older guys, like a Woody Williams or something like that, those guys are there and they're not going anywhere. But the young guys that are coming up and have just busted their tails, whether they started as a grad assist and a volunteer assist and so on and so forth, you're hoping you're building a coaching tree that will go off and do a thing, and or maybe even take over for you one day at that program right there, or come back to the program. So I think it's fantastic that Schloss has been able to create that environment. Look, it's a team that 2 years ago was ridiculous. Last year it wasn't so ridiculous, and this year it's pretty damn good, and it's fun to watch the evolution of Aggie baseball. And I think Schloss said it yesterday in the post game. This is what he's wanted to build. He's wanted to get Aggie baseball to the top, and you do that by winning championships. Getting to the promised land. Florida State, how many times they've been to the promised land in Omaha and just come out with nothing out of it. Doesn't take anything away from what Florida State's accomplished throughout their history from a baseball program perspective, but I think it's winning championships, and I think that's what Schloss really wants to do in College Station.
Well, one thing we've learned too is don't question him, right? Because there were several, and I had friends reaching out to me, why is Lampkin going in the first game against Florida? Wait, Prager's going to go game 2 against Kentucky? Wait, they're bringing back Lampkin again? They just saw him, and yet these moves that he does, and then the switching in the outfield and the movement, like he's pushing all the right buttons.
Yeah, you look, any good manager or head coach as it relates to college baseball, it knows his personnel, knows the heartbeat of his clubhouse and what guys are feeling, sensing, and the like. Look, you could argue that moving Gavin Grahovac to the 3 spot was a mistake a couple of days ago. I thought so, just because Gavin looked a little lost at the plate, looked like he was guessing. And what's he do? Puts him back in the top of the order where he's been most comfortable, where he's been the most productive all season long. And yesterday looked like he looked like a completely different guy. He looked like the SEC Freshman of the Year. He had 2 for 4, I think it was, with the double out to left center field. And so I think that all goes back to a head coach really having his finger on the pulse of his team. And look, when you're going good and you're feeling it and you're in that flow of things, whether you're in Vegas gambling or you're a head coach of a baseball team, right? You continue to ride the hot streak, and that gut instinct, you're just going to stick with it. And he's pushed the right buttons to date, and it's been fun to watch.
Victor, I have a lot of respect for the ACC. I thought North Carolina would have a deeper run. I mean, they had a deep run, but I thought they may go toe-to-toe with Tennessee. But it has been 5-0 for the SEC in this College World Series. Just your thoughts on that conference overall.
You know, I thought North Carolina, look, they were playing with a lot of house money, right? They had a lot of things really fall into place continuously for them. And I'm not taking anything away from Scott Forbes' team. Really good team in the ACC. I thought they had, from a collection of talent, they were well positioned, but a lot of things fell right for them to get to that point. And if you start banking on that kind of stuff, you're going to fall short. Look, Tennessee is a really good team. A&M is a really good team. Do I think we got the 2 best teams in Omaha to match up for the College World Series? I absolutely think that. There's no doubt about it. But that's not taking anything away from the ACC, because Florida State, with the way they got off, was it 19-0 to start the season? Their offense was one of the best offenses in college baseball. It's tough to maintain that through the course of 4+ months, plus the supers, and going into Omaha to continuously do that, because as the field starts to shrink, the talent gets better and better, right? The dynamic of, hey, we're not just going up against, the 10th best team in the ACC or the 10th best team in the SEC. You're facing really talented players. And so it's tough to maintain that for a consistent. And that's why I think the 2 best teams are facing off this weekend. But again, that's no disrespect to the ACC or any conference out there. It's tough. It's a gauntlet, man. It just so happens that, look, no one gave Florida any chance to get to where they did. I had Kentucky and Florida in Gainesville. I had 2 of their games, right? Kentucky took 2 of 3, and Florida didn't have a midweek going into Georgia. And Florida had to at least win 2 of 3 to actually just wave their hand to the committee and say, hey, we're here. And what do? They go to Athens, they win 2 of 3, and put themselves in a position to get into the dance, and off they went. So anything can happen. You're just trying to get to that postseason stretch where you bank on the talent that you've put together and give yourself the best opportunity to win. And I'm looking forward to this weekend. There's no doubt about it.
Victor, an extension of that question about the ACC, SEC, A&M finished the season undefeated against non-conference opponents. I mean, that's just, considering they're in Omaha, they haven't lost yet, and all the teams that they've played, that's an unbelievable stat.
Yeah, it really is. And I think, I would imagine the coaching staff is preaching to the guys, hey, man, don't fall back on that fact. Keep your feet firmly planted on the ground, because, when Christian Moore comes to lead off in the first inning, you can easily get punched in the mouth and wake you up. So just continue to do what you've done. Don't lean back on, hey, we've coasted this far. We've got big goose egg on the loss column. Hey, you just never know what's going to happen in a short series. That's the beauty of these short series. You go back to the supers. Oregon had 2 leads, and we could easily be talking about the Oregon Ducks in Omaha had they been able to maintain those leads and picked up the super regional against the Aggies, right? I mean, that's the fun part. It's heartbreaking at times, but that's the fun part about baseball. You never know what's going to happen on a daily basis. And when you're talking about college baseball, the fun part about it is that it's almost like a musical or a play. There's different parts of each individual game, because you just never know. You drop a 7 spot in the first inning, you better make sure you put up more crooked numbers the rest of the game, because that opposition, especially in Omaha, is going to score some runs. So, I think the Aggies are going to be well positioned. I think Tennessee is going to be, it's a well coached ball club. Like I said, it's fun, and I don't want to rumor monger, but when you look at the 2 guys that are going to be playing this weekend in Tony Vitello and Jim Schlossnagle, you hear the rumors, right? All the rumors that are out there that maybe, there may be an opening somewhere in the state of Texas. And I just think that's the fun part of all of this. I don't believe that either guy is going to go anywhere. They're going to stay put. but you just never know because the rumors are going to be flying just because of how well both of these teams are playing this weekend.
It's tough to watch Jace Lavalette at this level right now because he's definitely not himself. But I look at him, and I think the Aggies need him regardless. Like, you need Jace Lavalette, who is going to be, at some point next year, your home run leader for program history.
No, there's no doubt. I thought I had a hamstring injury towards the end of my career, and I know you could play with it, right? Like you could tape it up, and knowing that you can't really have that burst or that sprint kind of speed, you can manage it. So that's why I thought he was going to DH, and then you figure out the other guys defensively. But you can tell that there's something bothering him. He's such a presence though in the batter's box that even a guy like that at 80% or 75% is still probably a better option than what you have on the bench. And I think that's why he was out in right field. And look, he is a guy that is going to be a fun to watch. He's going to be a top 5 pick next year. Could position himself to be a 1-1. I think that's how supremely talented he is. I think he still has more in the tank, believe it or not. I mean, as talented as he is already, I think his personality, I think his work ethic, I think the program that he is in is going to maximize everything that he brings to the table. I mean, just look what Jack Caglione has done at the University of Florida and what his evolution through the first 3 years, and only 3 years because he's off into the draft next month. Look how he has continued to just get better and better, and I think that's what Jace brings to the table, and especially playing in the outfield with his speed, his size. He's an animal. And I remember seeing Caglione for the first time in Coral Gables when they were playing the Hurricanes, and I'm looking at him on the on-deck circuit, and that's a man among boys. I mean, he's behemoth. Jace is that guy. He's not as thick as Cags, but his tools are so well defined at such a young age that the sky, it really is the limit for him.
Victor, excuse the simple question, but like Tennessee does everything well. They pitch well, they hit amazing, like they do it all. So like when you break down Tennessee, what do you see?
I see a very similar team. I think Tennessee does a little bit more swagger. I mean, I think they've got a little edge to them. I think the Aggies are more businesslike. Not that they don't have fun and the like, but I just think it's more, lunch pail. Let's go to work. And
like their head coach.
Knowing that you don't have Braden, knowing that Jace isn't 100%, I think that's the mindset going in. That we got another job to do. It's 9 to 5. Let's go punch the clock and let's go to work. I think Tennessee is one of those teams. While they are incredibly well coached, is a team that really relies on their edge. They play with an edge, and I think that's one of those things that pitching can neutralize. I'm the worst guy at guessing or giving you predictions. I suck at predictions, and that's why I don't do it. Right? I couldn't tell you who's going to win this weekend. I couldn't even tell you who I'm leaning towards, to be perfectly honest with you, because I think it's an evenly matched weekend series, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. But you've got to neutralize Christian Moore at the top. I think if you neutralize Christian, I think you can pitch around Blake a little bit. Amick at third base is a talented dude, but I just don't. I think there's a drop off. I think there's plenty of talent on that team. Don't get me wrong. I just think Christian Moore is the guy that you don't want to have beat you in that lineup as you go into the weekend. I think good pitching will neutralize that. If the Aggies can pitch and continue to pitch the way they have, you got a chance to have some low-scoring games and come out with a championship.
Victor, great stuff as always, my friend. Thanks so much for making time. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
You got it, guys. Take care. Have fun this weekend.
Thank you, buddy. Victor Rojas, ESPN. Just awesome interview. We'll hit a break here. We'll come back with a short 9 o'clock or 9:50 segment, and then we'll hit the 10 o'clock with Billy. Right now, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. When you're looking for a vehicle, I want you to start your search there at CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. They have the best vehicles, the best pricing, and just the whole experience is going to be great. But you start your search there, you get a feel for what they have on the lot. You make the drive to Caldwell, and you see the vehicles that they have. And once you make that drive, you're going to see, all right, the customer service is exactly what David said, the complimentary pickup and delivery for all their service customers, the awesome selection, the great pricing, the great trade-in value, and just the cool vibe when you go to Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They're proud sponsors of Aggie Athletics, and they've been doing that for a long time. And R.C. Slocum buys his cars there. Dante Hall buys his cars there. It is the place to go when you're looking for a vehicle. It's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people there at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Billy Liucci will be joining us at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. How about Victor Rojas? He was fantastic again. Appreciate his time. 10 o'clock hour, Billy, and we'll have JB Moss on the phone as well. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Carson, I'm sure you got a text for us.
I do indeed. So we got Garrett from New York City says, that game continued to show that elite pitching will always beat elite hitting. Has me very excited for Monday and what could happen. Also, a side note, just think of what this does for our recruiting moving forward.
Well, when you think about it, too, like they got some options for Saturday and Sunday, hopefully just Saturday and Sunday if the Aggies win. But, like, does Prager go on 4 days rest, bullpen game, and hope for Prager game 2? I don't know. Those are things the baseball bunch, Billy, myself, Olin, we can kind of chew through. We'll hit a break here. We'll come back with Billy Liucci. Before that, though, let's talk a little Rollo Insurance. They're the official insurance provider of TexAgs Radio. The difference is real. They're an independent insurance company built around educating you on exactly what you're paying for, doing the shopping for you so that you can accomplish your insurance goals. They can write any form of insurance to anybody in the great state of Texas, and they have offices in other states as well. But here in Texas, they got 53 offices. You'll see them, I should say, all over the place in College Station. They are the best. They love Aggie athletics. You'll see Jason, Jackson, Morgan, Keith, the whole crew out and about. Their headquarters on Highway 6 in College Station. Call them up. 888-44-ROLLO. That number again is 888-888-44-ROLLO, or go to ROLLOinsurance.com. Check out Rollo Insurance. We'll be back in a few. Welcome back into TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go straight to the hotline. Billy Liucci, executive editor, co-owner of TexAgs, joining us. Billy, good morning, buddy.
Nuño.
What's up, man?
What's up, buddy? What's up, man?
So, yesterday, was it everything you had envisioned? Like, knowing that they're going to the championship, the journey, the celebrations? Just kind of take me through it.
Oh, man, yeah, it was. It's just, you wait for it. You're an Aggie fan, you know, whether you're at the game, whether you do what we do and cover the team, whether you know a single player, coach, couple of them, all of them, families, you're whatever it is you're doing at that moment, you know, you're watching that game and you're up 6-0 with the best relief pitcher in college baseball on the mound. And I think if I was on the other side of that, you'd be sitting there going, this is hopeless. This is pretty hopeless. Like if you're a Florida fan, you're going, there's just no way. You probably would have thought about leaving a couple innings earlier, and you're sitting there going with a 6-0 lead. I'm just hanging on every pitch. Just because you want it that bad and you've been waiting for it that long. And yeah, when they record that double play, it's just, I didn't know what to do. Where everybody's hugging, going crazy. I'm sitting there going, should I get down there to the field? Do I want to just walk around the concourse and watch Aggies just celebrate and then hugging each other and happy? Do you just sit there and soak it all in? Do you capture, you know, video for content? I didn't know what to do because it was just watching that down the stretch and knowing what they were on the brink of doing, and just knowing the people involved, you know, from Slosh to the staff to, you know, Braden and his family and all the players and all the parents that stand up on the concourse, you know, in the 40-degree weather in February, you know, watching A&M play Long Island for you know, 10 hours of baseball over 3 days, you know, the whole thing, and just knowing what it means for them. You're just like, I don't know, man. I just wanted it for this team so badly. And then afterwards was great. Just, you know, literally just the hotel lobby is just a giant party. And it's everyone from, you know, all the people we mentioned, and then college baseball people. And then you had the, you know, that's where the SEC network was stationed. So it's just like a big fun after party. And then, you know, of course, the TexAgs crew came over, so we had some fun. So it's just a great time. It's not over. I mean, they haven't won a national title. It felt like it. It felt like it last night, but they haven't yet. But just the fact that Texas A&M, there's something different about baseball. You know, it's kind of like just the format of this thing. It's like you definitely won something last night, you know, and really all you won was the right to play for it. But for this place, Texas A&M, and for that group to get there, you don't get a trophy for it, but it definitely felt like they won something last night. You have a couple of off days now, and we all sit here knowing Texas A&M is playing Tennessee for the national freaking championship. And it's a little different, too, with this best of three. There's just a lot of build up and a lot of excitement, and a lot to look forward to. So, man, this is pretty epic. And look, Tennessee, I think A&M and Tennessee have been the best two teams wire to wire. This has been kind of a collision course, and there's been a lot thrown in A&M's way to keep it from happening. And credit Slosh, the staff, and those players for they just haven't been fazed by it. You know, have that.
No, they haven't. And Billy, in a perfect world, this is what I envisioned, right? But even in that perfect world, when they hired Schloss in 2021, this is happening faster than I really expected, right? I expected really good movement towards this. But they're 2 freaking wins away from winning it all, Billy. And for me, who I am bipolar when it comes to my fanhood of all my Aggie teams, it's like, I don't know, to me it's just being in this position is earlier than I expected.
Yeah, I think so, but there's also the 2024 fact. I mean, look, playing for the whole thing, Slosh will be the first one to tell you, he's never done it. This is his 8th trip to Omaha if you count one with Tulane as an assistant. It's his 7th trip as a head coach. We know how good those TCU teams were because they single-handedly 2 years in a row probably kept A&M from making one if not 2 runs here. Both those teams were capable of winning it all, and TCU and Slosh's teams kept them from doing it. Neither of those teams made it to the championship series. He's fallen agonizingly short once before. So, yeah, I mean, faster than expected to be playing for a national title. Go ask any coach or anyone that's ever worn a baseball uniform. They say there's no, whether it's year 1 or year 10 or never, it's really hard to get here. And for as great as this program is, and I really believe they're going to win championships here, no matter how hard that is. I think they can do it. Getting here in 3 years, forget that they're playing for the championship, just that he was able to build a national championship contending team, a team capable of winning the whole thing. Hell, he had it in year 1, and now he's really got it. This team all year we knew could. It's 2024. I think those coaches will be the first to tell you, like, you can turn it around really quickly. I mean, they went out and got guys like Rock, Polish, Claunch, Moss for year 1. Okay, they just went out and got them, and overnight there they were. And it's baseball, so you can, assimilate different pieces a lot more quickly than you can in football or basketball. So they did a great job in the portal that year. And then this year, again, we can go up and down the list of some of these transfers. Schott, Appel, Camarillo, and then of course, Braden Montgomery. And so now with a couple of years of recruiting and the portal, what you're able to do, I think that's you can accelerate it, but you still have to be really good at what you do. You have to be great at recruiting. You have to be great in the portal, and you have to be able to coach baseball, players, and in game. And this staff has excelled at that, and these kids, I think, have been just truly transformative for Slosh. I think he's coaching, not coaching in game, but just coaching with a different air about him than he was before he got to A&M. So I think the whole thing's just been, that's part of why it's so fun to watch, because it's just all refreshing and organic. And they just, they built a monster in a very short period of time. And you talk to guys like Slosh and Nolan Kane, I think it's his 7th trip. This will be his 3rd trip to the final series. He did it once, if I'm not mistaken, once as a player, once as a coach at LSU, now once here. So these guys know what it takes, and you give them the ammo of the portal, and they can really get you there in a hurry. And here's the beauty of it, is A&M shouldn't be going anywhere either. Like, I'm not worried about anything past this series, because you could be a top 5 program, and Florida State's never won it. That coach Martin will go into the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Fame legend. They've never won it. Some of these programs you look and you go, yeah, it's a great baseball program, and you go look and you go, okay, they've won 1 in the last 20 years. It's hard to do, and you're here. So you're 2 wins away from a trophy. So it's beyond exciting, but they also are building this thing to last.
Billy, let's take some of the pitching from yesterday in parts, right? Because I think each has their own storyline. Justin Lampkin has been so freaking fantastic. And, yeah, I didn't expect what he did yesterday. I thought he was going to be okay. I thought he was going to be good. But to follow up what Prager did with another brilliant performance, to me, caught me off guard.
I mean, it catches you off guard because Florida is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. We've seen this from Lampkin. Now, he was, when you factor in what's at stake, that stage, and how good Florida is, then yeah, it's like it's elite, legendary type stuff. I don't know, like, if you're given an MVP, obviously it's going to come based on what these two teams do starting Saturday night, is who's going to be like the most valuable player or whatever. But I mean, for A&M and having gotten there, Prager's out and puts him right there, obviously. But man, it would be hard. You'd be hard pressed to tell me to leave off a Lampkin or Josh Stewart, man, or Aschenbeck. Multiple inning closeouts in two of the three wins. I mean, you just have to just say the pitching staff, period. I mean, what Stewart did was remarkable. And then you talk to the baseball people, say it was by far his best stuff of the year, and he just seems to be peaking at the absolute right time. Mentally, too, what a bulldog he's been going in there. Lampkin just, hey, here's the ball. You pitched a few days ago. I thought masterful by Slosh, too, to say, okay, we're going to get you out of there after one time through the lineup, essentially, in that first game. And then we're going to go long with Cortez and bridge him to Aschenbeck. That's the plan. Worked out perfectly because Lampkin executed and did what he needed to do. But then, as a result of that, you also had a pretty fresh Lampkin coming to pitch against the Gators again. And instead of seeing him a couple times through, they've still only each seen him essentially one time. So I still think Lampkin had an advantage versus, the alternative, which would have been him going deeper in that first game. So you had a fresh Lampkin that still wasn't familiar to them, and he just mowed them down. I mean, he was remarkable. And just some of those outs these pitchers were getting, via the punch out, some of these innings where it looked like Florida was threatening a little bit, and they would it was incredible. Just the stones, okay? The more I've been around the last few weeks around baseball, and there's all our young listeners out there, so we have to be, this is like what I call the OB factor. Just the stones of these guys, these pitchers, to be out there. And kids, don't go say that to your parents today. But to go out there and make some of the pitches in those situations they had to, get some of the outs. What inning was that where Camarillo made the sliding catch for the third out? There was second and third. It was second and third, I think, with one out. It was Stewart. And yeah, it was second and third with one out. I think it was right after A&M maybe pushed it to 5-0. It was. And you're thinking, damn, they're about to get a couple back, and it's going to get dicey in these last couple of innings. And second, third, one out, I think they got a strikeout, and then that pop-up in the foul territory, and things were over. I mean, just or maybe it was a pop-up to Grahovic, and then that pop-out, or Sorrell, whatever. To get out of that jam without giving up a run was remarkable. Because you're sitting there going, damn, looks like they might, they might push a couple across. But time after time in this 3-game weekend, or 3-game week, the Aggie pitchers worked out of trouble, like just masterfully. Frustrating the other team. They've been so good, they've left the other team frustrated all week.
Well, and to follow that up, Billy, it's like if it wasn't a magical pitch to get a strikeout, it was a pop-out, or it was a weak grounder, or it was a double play. Like, they found the plays where, like, I thought, okay, this is where it's going to be 5-2 or 5-3. We're going to need Evan soon. Like, and Josh would just extend it, or Lampkin would extend his pitching because he'd find a way out of that jam with a couple of pitches.
They gave up 3 runs in 3 games to Florida and Kentucky. And I know people think of Kentucky and they go, they're not a big hitting team like Florida or Georgia or LSU, whatever. Tennessee, obviously. Kentucky averaged more runs per game than Florida this year. I'm pretty sure they did. Kentucky is averaging like 7.5 runs a game. I mean, they just did it differently. That's a really good offensive team. Offense doesn't just mean hitting home runs. That's a damn good offensive team. And then to do it twice against Florida and one of the all-time great power hitters in SEC history, not to mention a lineup full of highly regarded guys and future pros, for them to go out and do that and hold those two teams to 3 runs in 3 games, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Like what Max Wiener's done with his staff and what these guys have done to embrace his coaching and teaching and the mental side of the game, it's remarkable. And we always talk about, remember we spent a few weeks talking about this. It's about playing your best baseball at the best time. And they are playing their best when it matters most. They are 8-0 in the postseason, David. I mean, 8-0 in the postseason with 2 wins over Florida, a win over Kentucky, an 11-inning win over Texas, a couple wins over Oregon, and a tough ULL team. Like what this team's done in the postseason is just it's absolutely remarkable. And I know Tennessee, will be a betting favorite or whatever, and they're that number 1 seed. But how do you bet against this team right now and what we're seeing from them? And I know Tennessee feels the same way. So it's kind of like immovable force versus whatever the hell it is called, object. But irresistible force versus immovable object. That's how you say it. But I mean, these two programs are about to collide here in Omaha for what I imagine. I have to think it's going to be 3 games, but kind of hoping it's 2 because it's a long trip up here. I always joke, by the way, say if we ever go and win a World Series, that's the sport what's going to be the most pricey for TexAgs and a media company. And I'm like, we're living it now because it's hard to get here. It's hard to get out of here. It's hard to find hotels, Airbnbs, and it's not cheap, but it's well freaking worth it, man. And I'd say to any Aggie that's thinking about it, I've told a couple of my friends already, if your team is playing for an effing national title, get your butts up here if you can. I'm not saying get up here if it's easy. I'm saying get up here if you can. It's worth it. It's worth it. Like Nuño, I think you and Old B should find a way to get your butts up here. Get in that car, get your little, cushioned seat, and drive on up. But I really think, you don't get to see this. We've never got to see it ever. So if you're a fan of A&M, especially if you're a fan of Aggie baseball, don't sit there and go, man, I wish I would have gone to that. Come up here, be a part of it, I've got friends that were here, they left, they're coming back. I've got friends of memes that are dipping from Omaha back to, their house in Telluride and back. I've got friends that are loading up in a car and driving from College Station to Omaha, and they're just winging it. I know students, many of them that I've talked to, that just loaded up and took a carload up, and here they are. So if you can do it, do it. It's fun. It's going to be sports memory type stuff, and man, I really hope they win. But either way, it's been an incredible ride. But I'm just looking forward to watching the 2 best teams in college baseball play from the best conference in college baseball, and one of them's 8-0, one of them's, I guess, 7-1. Combined, these teams are 15-1 in the postseason.
Billy, didn't it feel like these 2 teams were on a collision course long ago? Even though A&M was 1, Tennessee was 3, then it kind of flipped and Kentucky got in there, and but it felt like the Vitello-Schloss angle and these 2 programs was eventually going to come to fruition beyond what we saw in Hoover.
Yeah, it did. It really did. I mean, and here we are. I mean, it felt that way. Again, like I said, there were some roadblocks in the way for the Aggies, and they navigated them. Listen, they're in their 8 games, they hit 5 home runs against Louisiana, right? Outside of that, none against Grambling, 1 against Texas, 2 in the whole Oregon series, and they finally hit 1 here. So in their other 7 games, I think they've hit 4 home runs in 7 games. That was what was carrying them. Braden, Jace, Grahovic, they've hit like 70 between them. And now they're doing it by giving up 3 runs in 3 games in Omaha. They're doing it on the mound, and they're doing it with the whole lineup up and down. You just never know where it's going to come from. Whether it's a walk, a double, a base hit, or the occasional blast. But it's kind of like they're not winning offensively with how they were earlier in the year, outside of the incredible patience and an eye for what the good pitches are to hit and what not to swing at. I mean, that plate discipline's certainly been consistent, but they've gone from record-setting home runs to just up and down the lineup. Again, like I said, you just don't know where it's coming from.
Billy, I think Jace is still going to be part of the storyline. Injured and not running at his level, like for A&M to win a national championship, I think we're going to have something from Jace, and it looks like he's hurting, but his presence, I think, also makes a big difference for everybody else in the lineup, regardless of the production, which wasn't necessarily there last night.
There's no doubt, and he's definitely hurt. I mean, you saw him go after that first ball that was hit to him, and it's like, man, he's moving gingerly doesn't even begin to describe it, but he's a warrior. And, yeah, Tennessee's got some big bats in that lineup. And in a 3-game series, yeah, A&M, we know they can win it, but I'm saying they can win it with their style without mashing with them. But it would certainly help the cause. And it is like when you sit there and go, can A&M beat Tennessee? You look at the big sticks in Grahovic and Jace, and it was really good to see Gavin get it really going last night. You definitely look at those two and go, man, if they can both hit, at the level we know they can during this series, it certainly seems like the formula. But I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be. We keep saying that. It doesn't have to be, though. I mean, you can just as easily say, hey, if they don't, maybe it's a Pell Shot and Burton that just go wild at the plate for 3 games. I mean, Teddy Burton was smoking the baseball last night. He was just finding gloves. So I don't know who it's going to be. Obviously, if it's Gavin and Jace, I think A&M wins it. But I don't know that any one guy has to put the team on and carry it, which is, with injuries to Braden and now Jason, that's what you learn, and the lineup is doing what the pitching staff is doing, which is what the team's doing, which everybody's picking each other up. When there seems to be a trouble spot, somebody steps up, whether it's for the season, in the case of, like, say, Caden Kent, who got thrust in action, whether it's for a specific game, whether it's for an inning, a pitch, an out, like, these guys just keep stepping up. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, we think of Jace, and it's not the right way to say it, but like as separate, like, oh, him and Braden and Gavin are the future high-round MLB. By the way, there are other MLB guys on this team, and one of them hit a massive home run last night. But those 3 guys, because of the power and, just going all the way back in time, the long ball and the home run hitters. But Jace isn't separate, and he'd obviously be the first to tell you that. He's one of the 9 guys in the lineup. So, yeah, if Jace goes crazy, that's awesome because he's got the big stick that might drive in even more runs. But anybody up and down that thing, if they have a big weekend, could be the catalyst to help push A&M over the top. So that's what's pretty exciting about the potential of this group right now.
Billy, get more of you tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you.
All right, buddy.
See you. Billy Liucci on the hotline telling me to pay for my trip to go cover the Aggies. Appreciate that, Billy. We'll hit a break here. We will come back with more. You know what? He's right, though. I mean, we should all be there. All right, let's experience it together. Right now, we're talking Brazos Running Company, located at Century Square, locally owned, Aggie-owned and operated specialty running store with an outstanding selection of all the shoe brands that you can think of, right? Like if you're into running, Brooks, On, Hoka, New Balance, you know the brands out there. Like they have the top brands when it comes to getting. If you're a runner, a walker, or interested in fitness at all, the right shoe makes all the difference in the world. You don't want to have, you want to have your tread there, right? It can actually affect the way you run and how you feel, and if your joints are hurting even more. Brazos Running Company is passionate about running and finding the right shoe for you. And beyond that, they have clothing. They have it all. Birkenstock, Fiore, you name it. Whatever big event's coming up in your life, or you're just ready for some new shoes, go to Brazos Running Company, located at Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station. Again, it's Brazos Running Company. How are we feeling today, guys? Like, it's been a lot of guests on the program, but how are we feeling? Like, are we feeling fantastic? Our YouTube numbers have been fantastic. Can you guys like, comment, and really, the most important thing, subscribe. Our numbers have been, we're not at 15,000 yet, which is stupid. There's shows that have a little bit more, and I know you can get our show multiple ways. You can get it on podcast. You can get it on YouTube. Of course, The Zone, Destination 1, and the CW8. But can you please subscribe to our YouTube channel? Because I think for the Aggies to win a College World Series, it has to be over 15. It really should be at 20,000. But, I mean, right at, 14.6? It needs to happen. Like, there's 409 people watching at the moment there. And, of course, on TexAgs.com, there's another 1,000. And on the stream and on CW. Like, I get it. But everybody help each other out. We just help each other out, right? It's all for the Aggies. Let's do this. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Carson Stein is there, who got a mean workout in yesterday. He's got some text messages for us to kind of before we go to JB Moss.
I have one that I wanted to get to you. From Lou and Brian says, I think Cortez no-showing was a huge blessing in disguise. They're going to need him fully rested with his A-plus stuff against Tennessee. Their offense is special.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about, I think you are who you are, and hopefully we get back to the Chris Cortez we've seen leading up to that game yesterday. But again, some of the storylines we wouldn't be talking about if it wasn't for either a rough outing, because he didn't have his best stuff yesterday, or an injury. Like, Josh Stewart became a Josh Stewart talking point because he had to go in under duress. Caden Kent, even though we knew all the potential, had to go in because, and I'm not saying I'm glad we went through that. I'm just saying some names have emerged and some storylines have emerged because of navigating through some tough waters. Ideally, everybody's healthy and we get our win on, right? But it has opened the door for some of these special performances. We're going to remember Josh Stewart yesterday for a long time. Let's get another one in.
From Rhett in Orlando texted, baseball is the most superstitious game there is. So I'm curious, what is the TexAgs staff doing to keep the win streak going?
Well, apparently Carson has to do the social center all the time because when he does the social center, the Aggies win. So if we lose, it's his fault. What else? I've just been watching the games with my kids. It's been different. Like, I'm usually at the ballpark. This particular College World Series run, I've been watching it at home. And coming into studio or doing the show on the road, it's been fun. It's been different, right? No doubt about that. There was another text I wanted to read. Where did it go? Here's one. Shirt ideas, because it's all about shirt ideas. And I feel like there's going to be a meme of me. What's his name? Brian Windhorst. What's the joke that they always do on Twitter? He says something from ESPN, like when he's got breaking news.
What is Utah up to? Are you talking about him?
No, Brian Windhorst has like something whenever like he puts his hands in the air and he's about to like have breaking news or a thought. Somebody will tweet it at me in a minute. But I feel like this shirt idea from the 580 in Oklahoma has it. T-shirt idea. Picture of Nuño with his hands up saying, T-shirt idea. I don't know if anybody would buy that, but I kind of like it. Let's do this. Let's hit a break. We will come back with the JB Moss on the program. I'm sure he's having a blast watching these Aggies. Right now, though, your car wash tradition with the friendliest staff and the personal touch, that is Aggie Land Express Car Wash. They have two great, convenient locations. You know all about them. William D. Fitch behind Shipley's in South College Station. That's the original. I've been there many, many times. You got the new location, 2528 Texas Avenue South in College Station, right across from the Planet Fitness. So both have all the services you want, right? You have the varying wash options, the free vacuums, the towels for your use, unlimited monthly membership packages starting as low as $19.95. But the new location has the full-service wash option. It is the best in town, and they will take care of your cleaning, your drying, your vacuuming, Armor All interior, all under a completely covered area so that your car stays cool while they make it sparkle and shine. And for a limited time, they're inviting you to try that full-service option for half price. It's normally $40, but if you tell them TexAgs and David Nuño, I don't know why I said it like that, TexAgs and David Nuño sent you by, $20 off. You get it for $20 right there. So right now, we're going to actually give one away. Does somebody want to try that full wash at the new location, Aggie Land Express, off of 2528 Texas Avenue South? I'm giving one away, 979-693-1150. The first caller will get a $40 value. Call now to win. It is Aggie Land Express Car Wash. Welcome back to TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Waller Insurance Studio. Can we continue the baseball vibes on the program? You know we're going to. We go to the hotline. We're joined by JB Moss. JB, good morning, buddy.
David, this is the happiest I've ever been on your show, that's for sure.
Well, all right, so where did you watch? Take me through it.
Last night wasn't very exciting. I just kind of watched at my place and tried to enjoy it and stay as calm as I could. And thankfully, because of the effort of Justin Lampkin and the rest of the pitchers, I was able to do that. So just so thrilled that A&M's playing for a national title. I can't believe it.
So let's talk about that pitching staff. And you know what? We've done a lot of Lampkin, Cortez. Let's just go with Captain Obvious here and Evan Aschenbeck. Even when it felt like it was getting dicey, it didn't get dicey.
No, it didn't. And look, Coach Slosh tells you all the time, it's the easiest and the hardest decision is when he brings Evan in the ball game. And look, David, I think I can speak for you as well, but you just feel so confident. You feel so calm because you trust that Evan has everything under control because it's all he does. He goes in and throws strikes and gets weak contact and eventually gets the Aggies the W. So I was in full confidence mode when Evan got into the game and started booking my flight to Omaha.
Well, the way I was looking at it is like, I hope we can go another pitch. I hope we can go another batter. Like, because I just want their arms to be as rested as possible. Do you think the 4 days rest for Prager that it's going to be, and Lampkin if he pitches on Monday, like, do you think, and the arms, right? The Evans, the Chris Cortez who only threw 8 pitches yesterday, the Josh Stewarts, everybody, are they going to get enough rest before this College World Series?
Well, they certainly are. I mean, you think about it, they've got Thursday and Friday off. Game 1 is not until Saturday. I'm not too sure when Prager's going to pitch. I don't know if Coach will bump him back to Sunday or when he's going to start. But look, it'll be number one. It'll be on all hands on deck. Nobody will care how your arm feels, including the kids. They're 2 wins away from a national title. But listen, I think you're exactly right. I think there is enough time where every guy's going to be feeling pretty good. So it's certainly an advantage for A&M and for both teams.
So how would you give me some of the scenarios? Like, who does game 1 if it's not Prager? Because you just went with Lampkin. Like, well, how do you think? Is it a bullpen game? Like, do they do that game 2 and do Prager on 4 days rest? How would you play that whole rollout?
I mean, I don't know Prager's arm. He certainly seems like a guy that bounces back okay. I would treat it like a 3-game series that you've played all year long. And so I would throw my ace game 1 because I feel like in order to get 2 as quick as possible, you got to get the first one. And so I would throw Ryan Prager on Saturday night, and then I would go from there. And then, whether you have to piecemeal it or whether Lampkin starts on Sunday or you have an opener like a Brad Rudis to get you one time through the lineup. But listen, that's why we pay Coach Slosh the big bucks. And, man, he has done such an incredible job of pressing all the right buttons. It's been so fun to watch.
It has been so fun to watch. Let's talk about some of the buttons that he's been pushing. Offensively, man, Gavin Grohovic, it took a little while, but I feel like we're getting the Gavin that we expected at this point.
No, I think you're exactly right. Look, Gavin is so talented that his talent's eventually going to take over, but he's also young. And look, this is a huge stage. I mean, you can't discredit the environment and what you're playing for, and to be able to do that as a freshman is just so impressive. We've talked about him all year long. I think the only thing that I would kind of question Coach Slosh about was batting Gavin behind Jace. I just feel like, if I was an opposing coach, I would put Jace on first and I would just feed Gavin slider after slider. So, you saw that after a 1-game adjustment, they moved Gavin back to the leadoff. And I heard Bronny earlier in the show, Gavin had a great at bat, his first at bat of the game, worked a nice walk there. And I felt really good about him. And he finishes the night with 2 hits and a walk and certainly look back to his old self.
We're talking to JB Moss here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Caden Sorrell, the freshman, by the way, the other freshman behind Gavin Grohovic. Another just performance that we've kind of become accustomed to.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about this kid, and he just thrives in the big moment. He's done it all year long after he's gotten his opportunity, and whether it's hitting a home run or making a dive and catch, the kid just kind of has a knack for the big moment, and he delivered again last night in what was the biggest game in program history. I mean, it's just a fact. There's no recency bias in that. A&M's playing for a national title for the first time. And when Caden hit that home run in the sixth, look, that was off Neely too, right? Who was at A&M's number and quite frankly, every SEC team's number. I was a little nervous when Neely came in the ball game just because he's been so shut down. And when Sorrell hit that home run, it flipped for me, and I was like, this is going to happen. So, it was an amazing moment for the kid, and he's going to continue to develop in maroon and white and be a good player for the next couple of years.
JB, back to the pitching staff. 3 games in Omaha against all SEC teams. They've given up 3 runs. You take it from there.
It's just incredible, really. And look, I know Coach Weiner is going to want all the credit to go to the kid. But look, I think there's a lot to be said for what he's done with this staff in 1 year. I mean, the turnover in production has just been absolutely significant. And look, it's just when I was at Texas A&M, look, we lost game 3 to go to Omaha both years, my junior and senior year, to Coach Slosh and TCU. And there was something about that team. We were supremely talented. And, we had a SEC, we had a school record 13 players drafted on that team. Talent wasn't the issue. But I think maybe our mental conditioning and maybe just wanting it too much. And you just don't sense any of that with this club. And to me, that's what's so impressive. They have a unique ability of being able to stay loose, have fun. But when the lights turn on, they're focused, they're determined. I think a lot of that has to do with Coach Weiner, the rest of the staff, guys like Hayden Schott. I mean, it just feels like the perfect recipe for these guys and their mental makeup. And I think as long as, as well as their talent, I think that has really helped them get to where they are.
Talking to JB Moss, TexAgs Radio, how, difficult was it to watch Jace yesterday, even though it's something is still out there?
It was difficult to watch, for sure. I'm not going to lie to you. I would borderline call that a defensive liability, only because, he just, that line drive early in the ball game that he just had no shot to get to. And quite frankly, Nuño, I wouldn't have played Jace in the outfield, but that's also why I'm not the head coach at Texas A&M. And it worked out. And, that's another thing I was talking about, or another thing I was referencing when I was telling you about Coach Slosh pressing all the right buttons. I mean, this guy is just very, very special, number one, at getting his teams to Omaha. Find me a head coach that's better at getting his teams to Omaha, maybe Sully at Florida. And I thought Coach Slosh had a great comment about Coach Sully. And look, Texas A&M is trying to be the University of Florida. And as far as their consistency, as far as their national dominance, as far as, the reputation of the program. And I think last night was the first step to what Coach Slosh really wants A&M to look like. But back to your original question, Jace was a liability for me on defense last night. But look, you have to get creative, Nuño, because you have to have him in the lineup. I certainly thought Jace was going to DH last night. But like I said, Coach Slosh did a great job pressing all the right buttons. And I just hope Jace can be as comfortable as possible before Saturday's game 1.
How about this matchup with Vitello and Schloss? I mean, 2 of the top names in the ranks, in the coaching ranks. Vitello coached for Schloss before. They both haven't won a national championship, and here they are trying to get their program's first ever national championship.
Yeah, it's just an incredible storyline, and I think that, look, you ask anyone throughout the country, and there is immense respect for Coach Slosh. I mean, look, he did it at UNLV. He did it as an assistant coach. He basically built TCU from nothing to be a powerhouse that they are. And what Coach Slosh is doing at A&M is just incredible. We have been looking for coaches in the Big Three at Texas A&M to reach their full potential. And I think Jim has done an incredible job of that in only 3 years. And look, you ask around about Tony, and he's the rising star. He's a superstar head coach. Tony's not married. He doesn't have kids. Tennessee baseball is his baby. He eats, sleeps, and breathes it. And he's come from the ranks from nothing. I mean, he's been an incredible assistant coach. He's known as a very strong recruiter, and now he's doing a great job coaching a program. So, Nuño, I think we are getting the 2 best in college baseball to go at it for their school's first national title.
JB, let's pretend we go in a time machine, or not even time machine. We go give information to JB Moss from a month ago, and we're like, hey. So Braden Montgomery's going to go out. He's going to be done for the year. And by the way, Shane Sadeo isn't going to pitch. He's going to only have a few pitches. Oh, and by the way, Jace Lavallette's going to strain his hamstring. He'll go, but he won't be himself, at least in the beginning. what would you think would have happened?
I would tell you the season would be over.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, look, that's no disrespect or discredit to any of the other players on Texas A&M's roster. They're certainly supremely talented, but look, when you take superstar players away, I mean, anybody would tell you that there was going to be a major drop-off. And quite frankly, we just haven't seen that. We've seen other guys step up. We've seen the pitching staff get better and kind of cover up what their faults have been throughout the season. And it's just incredible. That's what I would keep going back to is Coach Slosh and all the right buttons, but in addition to that, it's the kids stepping up and delivering in big moments. So, to answer your question, yes, I think the season would have been over in the regional or in the super when we lost Shane. But, it's just been so incredible. And every time you doubt them, all they do is throw another W on the board and say, keep doubting us.
JB, I'm going to close out with this thought. Look, this is no way, shape, or form saying this played out a certain way and this is, but without what we just talked about, without Braden going down, without Shane going down, some of these storylines don't emerge and don't develop. So there's a beauty to it. I'd rather have those guys there. I'd rather be fully loaded, but it has allowed for some of these stories to take place.
No, it absolutely has. And whether that be, I mean, look, what Josh Stewart has done in Omaha has been fantastic. Caden Kent continues to deliver. And look, when somebody goes down, it's just an opportunity for another person to step up, right? I hear Billy talk about it all the time. When we talk about staff turnover, specifically with Texas A&M football, he says, look, when a coach leaves, that's an opportunity. Look at that as an opportunity for A&M to hire a better coach. And it's kind of the same game here. I mean, look, these guys, there's no way these guys can replace the production of Montgomery and Tadeo, but what I'm saying is it's an incredible storyline, and it's an opportunity for these young players to become Aggie legends in year one as freshmen or sophomores and just kind of write their name in the history books. And it's been so fun to see multiple guys step up. And don't get me wrong, A&M's going to have that in the final series. They can't stop now.
Thank you, JB. Appreciate you, buddy.
You got it, Nuño. Thanks, guys. Gig 'em.
See ya. It's time to end the day with Double Dave's caller number 12. Caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We'll hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They have your favorite pizza. They have your world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on Double Dave's, and your favorites are on their way. We'll be right back. All right, this I can tell you is true. Tomorrow's Baseball Bunch will probably be the highest viewed version of that show of all time because this week's numbers have been fantastic. We'll have Scotty, we'll have Bronny, we'll have Richard, we'll have Billy Liucci on the program, and it's all baseball, baby. It's going to be a lot of great baseball, so it's going to be a fun Friday here on the program, and looking forward to, I think we all should get some good hats, right? Maybe even wear them on the show. Hey, if you are going to go to Omaha and you're in College Station before, or if you're coming to College Station before you head out to Omaha, I think you should go to Bryan and hang out at Hush and Whisper. They are the place to go. Innovative distillery cocktail lounge founded to defy convention and distill true grain to glass spirits. Located in the Verisco building of downtown Bryan. They have the finest local ingredients, committed to the highest quality, and they offer tours to learn about the process of making spirits. They use corn from a local farmer to make their spirits, and after they've distilled the corn with a leftover mash, is given back to that same farmer to feed his cows. So it is a full circle. Cool thing. You can reserve a tour, a tasting, or just a tasting, book an event, meetings, celebrations, team building. Go hang out there. Thursdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. 219 North Main Street, or go to hushandwhisper.com. That is hushandwhisper.com. Fun show. Carson, quick text. Go.
Tayag and Taylor texted, "This team has me believing in them no matter what happens."
Believe, everybody. All right, that's going to do it for TexAgs Radio on a Thursday. We'll see you. That was an awkward throw. Mañana.